look at that. We have numbers.
All right, guys. It's ClevelandMoto podcast number 433. Light them up, boys. Oh, man. And that's right. It's beer day. It's beer day, beer day. 10-cent beer day here at the Cleveland Indian Stadium. One of the worst ideas in Major League Ball.
I've seen video.
So back to you in the tower, Bob. So to my left we have...
Dan Crockett.
What you drinking there, Dan?
Union Pills, Noble Beast Brewing.
Same thing I'm drinking right now, a Bohemian Lager. And it is... it's delicious. You're the right temperature, too. Perfect. And then to his immediate left...
Steve Sleepy.
Steve Sleepy Cinch. And just in from a hot flight from Reno, Nevada.
True, yeah.
Did you have a layover anywhere?
Yeah, Denver.
Of course, because there is no direct flight from Reno.
No. And do you know how troublesome it is for me to go to Denver and not be able to be in Denver?
Welcome to Denver.
Welcome to Denver.
Yeah, big blue horse.
I stuck my nose outside.
Weed for you.
I was like,
No. Lucifer.
Lucifer, but no weed for Steve.
no.
And to his immediate left,
Johnny Mac,
Johnny Mac, what are you drinking tonight, buddy?
Honey Brown,
Of course.
the world's easiest drinking
It
beer.
is the world's easiest drinking beer. That is a dessert topping.
$6.99 a 6-pack.
It really is. Yeah.
Have you been to Trader Joe's? They have
Not in a long time.
a
no.
$4.99 7% IPA 6-pack.
Really?
Yeah.
Way to
You
go,
had
Trader
me
Joe.
until you said IPA.
Well, no,
IPA,
they
and
also
that's
have.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
they have an IPA, but they also have a lager and something else. They're all $4.99 for 6-packs. Yeah.
Okay.
And behind the bar tonight on beer night,
It's Tom Pennington.
and Tom Pennington. What you drinking there, Tom?
New grist, gluten-free Pilsner style beer.
We're all drinking Pilsners.
We're all drinking Pilsner.
Except for Johnny's drinking a honey
You're
brown.
talking into the end of the mic, and that's not where it goes.
That's not what.
Oh, yeah. You got
Where am I supposed to put
There
it?
you
There
go.
we go.
Nice. Tilt that
Tell
mic.
me where to put it, Sleepy.
Talking to the yellow tape.
Put it in
or
your mouth.
Talking to the
Tom.
gray tape.
Put it in your mouth.
Talk into the gray tape. So, I got to say, today at the shop,
Yes, sir.
podcast listener Lawrence Archer,
I like the name.
powerboat enthusiast. I've seen his wife, motorboat enthusiast. All right.
Womp, womp, womp.
Showed up in his monster truck, his monster van, and in the spirit of the podcast, one brought gifts. So we have Vlad the Impaler's amazing porter, stout beer, 13.9 percentages.
Imperial.
Fucking Imperial Impaler. Whoa, that's good stuff. I may have been overserved before the podcast. So delicious. And he brought us some baseball hats from Team Chaos, which is his offshore powerboat racing team.
Oh, sick.
And his wife is Go Viper. She's got her own fucking boat. And they're in there going super fast on the water. Yeah. And it was funny because when we outed one of our podcast Patreons for dropping, we're like, oh, somebody dropped off the $5 level or whatever. He's like, fuck that, I'm making it up. And he upped his Patreon.
Oh, sick.
And he's a guy that said, I only had Harleys. I was only Harley. And then I started listening to your podcast. And he came in today and bought a SYM Fiddle 2, or Fiddle 4, technically, a Fiddle 4 200cc fuel-injected combined braking system, kick-ass 70-plus mile-an-hour scooter.
Yeah. Everybody needs a scooter. I mean,
You got to have a good scooter.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm a particular fan of the Fiddle 4. Dumb name, great bike.
yeah.
Bad name, amazing bike. And so that was cool. So he came in and he was fantastic. He was awesome. And he's a listener who decided to become a buyer, which we didn't design this so people would come in and buy bikes.
No.
That's just been a happy accident.
Yeah.
But we got to meet these cool people now that came into our shop.
If you wanted to buy a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Would you want, and you're already listening to the podcast, would you go to somewhere where you don't really feel like you know anybody? Or do you feel like you're going to
You
walk
kinda
in
know
and get a
people.
fair deal
Right.
when you say, hey, I listened to you guys and you're a cool guy?
Oh, and he negotiated.
yeah.
And you guys know I don't negotiate.
Right.
Unless you're a Patreon. And if you're a Patreon, anybody who's ever been around me, if you're a Patreon, I will negotiate like a motherfucker.
So you mentioned
he
brought...
saved $785 today because he's a Patreon.
Nice. But you mentioned he brought hats, right? So
He did.
it took me last week, I went to Fuel.
Yeah.
And it took me going to a Harley chopper show to be able to find a ride fast and take chances hat. So I now have a ride fast. I was going to wear it today, but I didn't go home. So
We always joke that imitation is the most sincerest form of copyright infringement.
Right.
And we believe in that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Everybody can ride fast and
The
take
girl
chances.
that made it was very sweet. She's a very sweet
Absolutely
lady,
certain.
so.
So me and the guys from Lowbrow were having a discussion one night, a heated discussion about who came up with the term ride fast and take chances. And I feel like I've been saying it for a really long time, and he thought he was saying it for a really long time too. And I said, well, we can share. It's fine. Nobody cares. And Will Stoner looked at us, who's 70-some years old and has been racing motorcycles since Christ was a private.
Yep.
And Will Stoner looked at me and he's like, you guys are fucking idiots. I came up with that shit in the 70s.
Yeah, it's true.
And when Will says it, you're like, yep. Because Will's entire body is a archaeological dig of motorcycle crashes. Mm-hmm. So if you ever want to know what riding fast and taking chances looks like when you're in your mid-70s, look at Will Stoner.
I'm halfway there at 50.
I know, right? Well, Lawrence, he came into the shop today, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I was having so much fun at Mid-Ohio, having a good time, rocking around on a Zuma scooter, and I don't know what happened. I think I accidentally, instinctively touched the front brake, and now I have 3 bruised ribs.
So,
welcome to gravity.
Yeah. So on my trip, this is kind of interesting. I thought you'd find this interesting, and I'm going to find out more information. And I told them I'd link you guys up. So I'm walking around, and it's a car show, so there's all cars everywhere. And how many fucking Camaros can you look at? It's fun. I mean, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. It's fun to see. But I was itching for something. I was itching for something that fits in our wheelhouse, right?
Scratch the weird.
Yep. Yeah. And so, there was a couple, like a weird Jeep truck that was really neat that you don't see many of. But then I saw an Isetta.
Yeah.
And I walked over, and the Isetta had 51,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple sitting behind it.
And they had 100,000 miles on that.
Well, they have 27 Isettas because 25 years ago, he went around San Francisco, California, other things, and buying everyone he could find for whatever.
A fucking true pervert.
But so I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
So then we started talking more, and he's like, so are you into car? Whatever. I was like, I'm kind of more into vintage Japanese motorcycles. And his wife goes, I knew I hit a vein because his wife goes, bam, and nails him.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, uh-oh. And she goes, we own a motorcycle shop near California for the last 48 years. We've never sold a Harley. We don't do cruisers. We specialize weird tiny bikes. My husband has over 250 Japanese collector bikes in his collection. Because I brought up, he said, he kind of dogged me. He goes, do you have any bikes? I'm like, I have about 13 bikes. And he goes, oh, so you're just beginning. And and so he had 250 bikes. He said every single one of them is rideable and drivable. He keeps them all. Him and his wife ride at least 10 a week.
Get the fuck out of here.
The Isetta that I saw was restored 25 years ago, and they drive it almost every weekend. She uses it for parts deliveries and stuff when she can in the area.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, holy shit. And they were like, I think he's around 70 and she was probably about the same.
Right.
So there's like a 20-year prior Phil kind of water situation going on. But so I took pictures of their store name when I get home and look at that.
Well, I would love to look it up.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Well, not only that, but he said he's going to start thinking about moving some of the bikes.
Was it Daniel Schmidt and Company? Yeah, they do a lot of. They're big on the BMW Izettas.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'll definitely let you know in the next days. But it was so cool, and like the best part though is like everybody else was tried to be like cool with their fashion and stuff. These guys were like, he was wearing a Vespa shirt. She had like an old school BMW shirt. Like they just weren't part of the scene.
Oh, that's cool.
And they were pleasant, which right there.
And they were pleasant.
Unlike everybody else there, they weren't
super
jerks.
cool.
Yeah, so I thought you might enjoy that.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, so good for them, right?
Yeah. But they'd exist. And
showing up with a positive mental attitude.
And his wife sniffed me out. She could tell, like, she was like, because she started talking to me first.
Yeah.
And she said something like, I don't forget what she said. I don't know, but weird finds weird, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah. That's fucking great. Yeah. That's super cool. The when we talk about weird motorcycle, weird small stuff, the Isetta is truly a hybrid between a motorcycle and a car.
Right.
There are very few vehicles where we can ever say, oh, well, that's a hybrid between a motorcycle and a car. The Messerschmitt Cabinen Roller is absolutely a hybrid between a motorcycle and a car.
And an aircraft.
And an airplane.
Yeah, right.
Leftover airplane parts. And the Isetta is absolutely a motorcycle car hybrid.
And, dude, talk about
if they crashed into a Kelvinator, yes.
Yes.
Right.
But front-loading washing machine.
But talk about having foresight. Like, he went around and just sucking them up. He said he still has 8 that he hasn't done yet. Like,
Right.
There's 8 just that he's slowly, he does it 1 or 2 every couple of years.
Because all the people that thought they were curious when they didn't have money now have a pile of money.
Yep.
And they don't have 1, they have 7.
Right.
Right. So he just became the guy who is officially the
Well,
guy.
that's when I was a kid. That's how you get into Volkswagen Beetles.
It is.
You
It's a
buy
gateway
you
drug.
bought one for $100, and then your neighbor went, "Well, I got one," and then the guy down the street went, "Can you just come get this thing out of my yard?"
Please get out of my yard.
And suddenly you've got 27 Volkswagen Beetles, and now they're actually worth money.
Yeah. And there's so many of my friends over the years that have had those 25 Beetle collections or whatever.
A guy I knew back in Baltimore, he said he used to follow the Dead, not because he gave a shit about the music.
Because he liked
but
Beatles.
because every Volkswagen van at a Dead concert was broken down, and every kid needed a bus ticket home, so he'd buy vans for $200.
What? He didn't like the music. Oh, insulting.
I don't like the music.
Well, I said he didn't give a shit
He
about
didn't
the
like
music.
music.
I
Okay.
don't. Everybody's, all into the Dead. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. The 60s were cool, and people did a lot.
They were not a 60s band. They were a 70s.
They were a 70s band.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had
The
a
dr-
71 Volkswagen Westphalia
Yep.
camper van, sports wagon, so it didn't have a pop top. It was a hard top.
yeah.
And I had done a pretty decent restoration on it. And I found the best sticker ever. That was a clear window, a clear sticker designed specifically for the back window. It said, "Who are the Dead and why are they following me?"
My 85 van again, I had the same sticker.
Same sticker. It makes perfect sense. And I'd never gone to a Dead show. I mean, like, that was the thing. I wasn't into that. And it was so funny that van just was a magnet.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fucking magnet.
Well, I used to get trucking stuck in my head every time
Yep.
I got drunk on Decatur Street. So it would get stuck in my head because that's where Jerry Garcia got ran down by the NOPD and finally got arrested. So he wrote the song.
Yeah, it's very
I know Dead a little bit.
right.
Down a
And then,
Bourbon
for what,
Street.
25 minutes, you're going to sing the same song with bongos in the background?
Yes,
Okay, I'm good.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm out.
No, you just don't do the right drugs, fucknut.
Right? You know what? I'll give
If you don't like the music, try different drugs.
for drugs. I'll give him that. He's
Makes
not
perfect
wrong.
sense. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So that was pretty cool. And then today I had a interesting visit, an unscheduled visit from the two directors. Well, I think the director and maybe the parts guy from Benelli.
Ah.
And they weren't trying to sell me shotguns.
Were they handing you an award?
A major award?
A major award. A major fucking award. But it was cool. It was an Asian fella and it was an American fella. And they were traveling together. And they had some questions.
A lot of TNTs at Mid-Ohio.
Oh, a hell lot of TNTs at Mid-Ohio.
And
Hell
it
of a
was
lot.
fucking weird. I couldn't sell that pipe. I saw 7 guys. I was like, hey, man, you want to fucking... Yeah. Nobody came and got it.
Really?
$275 pipe for $100. Nobody
Yeah,
came and
nobody
got
bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, got that. Yeah, got that.
Oh, well.
Look, it's not shocking to me that there wasn't people there that wanted to buy your pipe, right? That's not shocking. Mid-Ohio is a very strange brew. It's a very, very strange brew. That whole thing, it's not your normal group. Okay. Mid-Ohio is, you can't predict that shit. When you zag, it zigs every single time.
When I was out in Reno this week too, Buscadero.
Yeah.
They're from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
They had a little thing.
Really?
And now I know that they now sell brown seat and brown grips. So
Oh, of course they do.
You could really fucking hipster that fucking bike.
Of course
up.
they do. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm shocked I'm shocked you don't already have them, honestly.
Yeah, they might be coming. In.
they're on the way.
Yeah.
So these two fellas, came into the shop today and they had a lot of questions. And I asked Renee, I said, "Hey Renee, do me a favor." I said, he said, "Well, how good did you do with Benelli?" Right? I said, "We did pretty good with Benelli last year." And he said, "Well, how's Benelli going this year?" And I said, "Well, not so good." He goes, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." So I walked him down my tunnel and I showed him like a dozen Benellis, actually 18 Benellis. So I showed him 18 Benellis that are not sold and don't have owners. And I said, "So to tell you how Benelli's doing for us this year, those are 18 Benellis I thought would have been sold by now." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Well, how did Benelli do last year?" And I said, "Well, Renee, would you like to go get the numbers for me?" And so Renee disappeared and came back and she goes, "We sold 49 Benelli TNT 135s last year. Just TNT 135s, not other stuff, not Leoncinos, not whatever. Sold 49. And selling 49 of a particular model of bike is noteworthy.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
care what you sell. If you sell 49 of one particular model, that is a fucking strong seller.
Yeah.
Any bike it is. Any car it is. That's a strong seller.
Especially when you can only ride for like 6 months.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And so they were really impressed. And they said, well, how many of those did you sell this year? And I said, 5. 5.
Yeah.
We went from 49 to 5. And he's like, what the hell? And I said, that is my story. The Benelli is the perfect example of the stimulus check motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's just like the Harley Davidson Dyna. It's the last thing a guy buys before he goes to prison, right? You can always buy a cheap Dyna from your girlfriend's ex-husband, right? It's been sitting in the garage since he went in,
Yeah.
and she's got the title, right? And you're like, hey, honey, I've been dating you for the past 6 or 7 months. I notice you have a Dyna in your garage. Would you like to tell me more about that? No. Well, I didn't know you rode motorcycles. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, you have a Dyna in your garage. Yeah, I know.
Blade wrote it.
Yes. That's what it is, right? That's what the Dyna is. And then it's always like, well, you know, if we throw $1,000 into his commissary account,
Yeah, he's good.
will he sign the title?
2 packs of Marlboro Lights and
Right.
$1,000.
I'll dump $1,000 into his commissary account. We'll see if he'll sign the title.
That's good. I like that.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that I know a guy who worked in the prison system
Right.
that used to do that. And he'd be like, yeah, I see I see all your tattoos. What kind of bike you got? Oh, I got a Street Glide. Oh, what you got? I got a 17 Street Glide. Oh man, you still making payments on that? No, it's all paid off. Wow. You're doing an 11-year stretch. How are you keeping that bike fresh? It's my old lady's house. Oh man. So you got somebody selling it for you? No, man. It's gonna wait for me until I get out. Then you hit the guy up when he's real low on honey buns.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, hey man, you need a bump in your commissary? Yeah, I could use a bump in my commissary. Yeah, I can take care of that for you. And I'm saying that is worse than loan sharking.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But it happens and it's real. And I told him we sold 5 Benellis. And I said, look, the people that got stimulus checks, they spend it on Benellis. That's your target audience right there. We sold more Benellis to people that came in with stimmy check money than any other bike we sell. Now, this year, we're not selling so many Benellis. Why? Because those people had to go back to work. All the people that are their friends had to go back to work.
And you know, here's the other thing. I think if they just make a new headlight for a new, seriously, like the Grom restyled itself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
So the guys were like, ooh, that's the new Grom.
Yeah.
This Benelli still looks the same.
I don't have a problem with the way Benelli looks.
I like the way
think it looks good.
I'm saying though, like if they just updated it, like just instead of 4 beams,
Right.
put 2 bigger. Just change something.
change
Just
something.
do exactly what they did to the Grom. Make it really ugly with those stupid grommets down the side of the gas tank.
But that's,
Yeah. Right.
But
I disagree. I think that the Benelli
What
looks
about a
good the way
black
it is.
one?
We have black one.
Do they have black one?
Yeah, we have red, black, white.
No, I mean I like the way the Benelli
White,
looks. I'm
yeah.
saying they have to freshen it up or put a little fucking chin fairing on it. Something. Throw $30 at
Well,
a
that's the
plastic.
QJ. So if you look at the QJ,
Oh, they
QJ
did?
has chin fairing.
Oh, so those will probably sell now.
And the
because it
QJ has
looks
a
newer.
down low exhaust,
Okay.
a GP exhaust.
Yeah.
And it's QJ, Benelli's the same company, so
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, but that's the thing. But what I, kind of leaned into the guys and said, the reason your bike's not selling is because your target audience, people who buy it, at the moment don't have extra money.
Right.
So they're worried about things like mortgages or car payments or cell phone bills or whatever. They got other things that are higher priority in their mind right now, right? Or maybe they got Sally pregnant during COVID. And they got to pay for that shit. Who knows?
Well, plus with COVID, there was a whole I'm going to live today.
Yes.
There may be no tomorrow.
Yeah, there was.
Yep.
There was
and,
a whole lot
and
of that.
and you told me this early on. There were no Groms to buy.
There were no Groms to buy. Yep, that's
So-
right. Yep.
Yeah, have a Grom.
Oh, everybody who went out and bought a Navi's trading it in on a bigger bike for sure.
We'll
But
talk about a drop in value.
yeah, well, we found that out. So we have proof about that.
You got out right.
I did get out perfectly. I owned that bike for 2 days.
There's been somebody trying to give this Navi away for 23 on Marketplace for like 6 months now.
Yeah, we did.
They finally
really
dropped their
good.
price to $22.99.
And they probably only spent $3,600 or $3,700 for it. Right. So that's a hell of a loss. But when you show up at Mid Ohio with a $2,000 Navi,
Oh yeah.
motherfucker, you are a popular motherfucker at that point. Yeah.
I just like the people trying to negotiate down to like some ridiculous thing.
I think it's funny that on Friday morning, I already had a deal for Sunday,
Right.
but the deal didn't make it all the way to Sunday because I got my real money
Yep.
on Saturday.
Right.
And you still tried to hold out till Sunday.
I did. I tried like hell. I was like, please let me keep riding this bike.
Yep.
I will sell it to you on Sunday. Nope. This place is bigger than we thought. I need something to ride right now. Fair enough. Okay. Cool.
You know, after walking back from the swap meet to the camp area after my Uber left me,
Yes.
all of the deals were in the aisle.
Yeah.
All of the deals. Like I
Running
literally
motorcycles with license plates that got ridden in there that day.
Yep.
Up the green mile.
the center stretch.
The center stripe.
Yep.
Always has great deals in it.
I literally could have bought a CB1. It was a late model CB125S.
Yep.
That they
Yep.
only, if I remember correctly, they only imported to use for the Motorcycle Safety Foundation.
Motorcycle
courses.
safety. Really late model
And
80s bike.
And it's a 4-valve overhead 125. I could have bought one cheaper than ICE at the booth.
Right. I saw a KLR 650 with 1,200 miles on it, a 2019 KLR 650 for $2,300.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
$2,300 up the middle aisle.
Yeah.
Damn.
Up the middle aisle.
Everybody rides past so fast. You
Up
don't.
the middle
I mean,
aisle.
I literally walked a
Everything
mile.
in that middle aisle was for sale.
Oh, everything.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I'd done a loop and I'd spun back around in, and the guy had just bought it, so he'd crossed out the for sale sign thing,
Yep.
right? He had just made the purchase. I was like, what did you get that for? He goes, $2,300. I was like, fucking kidding me,
Yeah,
man.
that's a deal.
But that's the way that was, that whole thing. Here's an interesting food for thought kind of moment. As we are progressing into, the autumn season, who should happen to hit me up the other day but my young cousin, Michael, who was shooting shotguns with us last year. And he has got a grip of my nephews, and my cousins are fired up. Yeah. They want to go to the range again.
Oh, all right.
And I think that's a damn good thing.
Yeah.
They hit me up. We went to my sister-in-law's birthday party yesterday, and all these young men, 16 to 22 years old, they were all like, Uncle Phil, hey man, we got to talk. So my buddy bought a new Benelli, and my other buddy bought a Winchester, and my other buddy bought one of those duck guns, one of those. And he was talking about your gun. He was talking about your gun, Kromke, and he's like, "We're ready, man. We're ready. We've been stocking up. We've been buying shells." And I was like, "Well, I probably only have 2,000 birds." Because I think we showed up with 1,000 birds and we left with 2,000 birds.
That was insane.
Our bird harvest was rich last year.
That's because that dude, your Iranian
Our neighbor
buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was all about letting those birds land unharmed.
Yeah. You just hear
And see
all the
one,
birds would just go.
the birds would just land. We made it.
Yeah. They weren't even chipped.
A sea of number 6 shot. But these young men are so fired up. But then what's great is my Uncle John, who's in his 70s, who's one of my favorite, if you like a 6'7" tall, relative of mine. So he's fired up and he's like all about, hey man, I think we need to go shooting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uncle John's gonna dust it off.
And then my cousin Joanna, who hasn't been shooting since we were little kids.
Yeah.
My cousin Joanna, she goes, Philip, I haven't been out shooting shotguns since we were little kids.
Yeah.
Well, Joanna, you should come out.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, let's do it.
We could line. I mean, we have 3-4 throwers. I mean,
We have 3 or 4 floors. Well, but then I just bought an electric thrower.
so now we have that.
We have that. So I bought that the other day. So we got that on its way. So that's nice, and that'll keep us on target. That'll keep us going. But those young men were all still talking about John McElfresh.
What?
Self-serving himself birds and one-handed blasting them out of the sky. And I watched Mike tell my nephew Anthony. He goes, "No, I'm going to tell you this. You're not going to believe it." He launches his own bird and then shoots it one-handed. And my nephew Anthony was like,
Oh, my ego just went.
and my nephew Anthony was like, "Yeah, whatever, if you say so." And Mike was like, "Fuck you. Show up next time. Show up next time. You can act all high and mighty and shit. Show up." And so, yeah, we're going to have a bit of a gaggle,
Yeah.
but there's a special request.
Okay.
And I endorse this special request. We have a special request to go to the rifle and pistol range
Sure.
first. Because we have some young folks, we have some younger people that have stuff that they own, but they haven't dialed it. And I'm a big proponent of, if you own a gun, you should be extraordinarily proficient with it. You should know every bit of safety for that particular thing. And God damn it, you'd better have it dialed in. Because the part of that is any asshole can buy a gun, but you got to make sure the bullets go where you point them, right? And if you haven't sighted a gun in, you don't know. You just have no idea where they're going to go. What's going? Oh, that's just timed out.
No, it's not. It's not timing out.
I mean, it's shut off. It made the shut off sound.
Whatever. I'll just put the audio and I'll just
Oh,
have
really?
a picture.
Okay,
I'm not
you're
going
trying
to
to
keep
do-
doing it. I mean,
all right.
they can see a picture of us.
They can see a still
Yeah.
photo and still
Yeah.
hear us.
I mean, this is a special situation.
And most of these guys won't even fucking know. Honestly, if we just have if the YouTube is just us sitting at a table for the next hour, they'll have no
just,
idea.
Just so I can make an excuse, nobody yells at me.
Do you
Right.
mind if I slip out of these uncomfortable
Yeah.
pants?
Here, does this look infected?
Yeah, no, but I just came from the airport and I did not have time to go
Right.
home and get all my shit. So
Right.
that's why
It's
we're
fine.
kind of we're
It's
winging
okay.
it.
I don't think anybody
And I didn't want to
matters.
use a $20,000 cinema camera to shoot the.
Why not?
Are we not worth it?
No, I just that's
That's
a lot
okay.
That's a
All
lot
right.
to set
That's
up.
fine. It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter because that's it. Anybody who watches on YouTube got bored 10 minutes ago anyway.
Yeah.
So I've seen the stats.
They just play it and listen to it.
They listen to it in the background
They're not even
anyway.
gonna know.
So here's to you guys.
I'll just loop the one part forward and backward.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just keep it going the whole time because
Just
they're
looping
not
it.
moving.
They have no idea.
No
it's the
idea.
same movement. They'll just think it got out of sync for a
Yeah, a
second.
little bit.
So I think it's a good idea. So I made my nephew Michael pick the day. I said it's got to be you picking the day. So I said my rule is this: late September or October. I think that's when we're in our prime. Yeah,
That's when you can wear a vest and not sweat.
it is. That's when you can go out and have a really, really good time. So
I just have to make sure it's not my weekend that I'm working.
that's a good thing. Good to know. Yeah.
I'll try to come up with that information.
Okay, that'd be great. Because, again, I'm starting to get that itch. And talking to these guys at the birthday party the other day got me fired up.
You might want to have that checked.
It's okay. It's a different kind of itch.
It might be infected.
Well, and I just found out we're not doing Theater Bazaar this year, so my October just opened way up.
They're not doing it?
Yeah, they had a problem with the venue. So the venue overbooked or outbooked or whatever the hell you want to call it. But any case, there won't be a Theater Bazaar. So my October my quest for weird in October just got real powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some options.
Oh yeah, there's always options. Have Hearst, we'll travel.
Speaking of weird and interesting and motorcycles,
Yeah.
did you see that Triumph released the images of the dirt bike, the final dirt bike they're putting out?
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Really?
Yep, Triumph's dirt bike is ready. It looks fucking sick.
Is it?
It's black and fucking
What?
it's black and gunmetal from the pictures that I saw.
Okay.
It says Triumph, but it looks like a Honda CR like 250 and a Triumph
It does.
kind of mated.
And it does not look at all street legal.
No, it's a dirt bike.
Right.
It's a straight up
They're
like-
going into motocross.
Yeah. No, straight up dirt bike, man.
And in the spirit of all things McQueen, it is forest green and gray livery.
They spared no expense having Bajaj build it for them.
Maybe. Right? I mean, I can't imagine that plant, that engine
yeah.
needs to be built.
It looks good though. It doesn't look cheap or anything.
It doesn't. No, it looks legit. It looks fine.
I think that's a rendering. There's a picture of because the frame's different. They changed
Okay.
the frame up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you look, it was just released a couple days ago, so maybe like search for the last Triumph motocross bike released or final version or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
all right.
It looked really good.
All right, we'll try that. Yeah.
I was going to say, that just looks like a Husqvarna.
Yeah.
It does. You can't really
Yeah.
you honestly can't tell.
No, this
when
one
you look
has-
at that thing, it's very hard to tell. Yeah. It does. Yeah. They said it's, I guess that's the deal, right? But it's a very strange I wouldn't want to try to enter that space because Yamaha and Honda and Kawasaki and Suzuki are all just so goddamn good at it, right? And then so Triumph comes in and like, what does Triumph have to offer in that space? Because that's tough, This one also appears to be a very strong rendering because it looks like my Steve McQueen.
Yeah. No, I'll find it. It
yeah.
was just an article that came out like yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah. But I don't, it seems to be a strange place for Triumph to enter with one bike, right?
I think this is the real one right here. Like that. See how the frame is completely different?
Yep. For sure.
That's pretty good, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's yeah, that does look different. I'll throw it up to our screen so that our
Yeah, because the article was talking about the frame and how
Right.
like they made this. Because like if you look at this frame,
Yeah.
it has modular parts. See how it has like a modular thing?
yeah,
going
the whole
on there?
thing appears to be
Yeah.
knockdownable. Right. The frame appears to be at least 4 different pieces all put together to be a frame.
Right.
Could this be full circle? The best Triumph ever built was the W650. Now the best Kawasaki ever built is going to be the
The
Triumph.
best CRF ever built is going to be by Triumph.
No.
I don't think so.
no.
But you would hope that they at least make the exhaust note unique or something to make it sound like a Triumph. You know?
It's going to be a Rotax copy built by Bajaj stuffed into an
You know-
aluminum
you know
frame.
what-
It's
okay.
really not going to...
It's going to brap.
So here's the
gonna
thing.
brap.
But here's
That
the
is
thing.
true. It is gonna brap.
Triumph, call me next week. We can have lunch. You should have put a fucking pea shooter on it, at least to give it a little bit of fucking like a Triumph flavor.
It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to rip it off so they can do heel clickers over the high rise. I'm sorry. I'm not New Orleans.
Well, they could have had really good like Triumph graphics, like the big T, like the, what I mean.
They can have the ghost of or the zombie of Steve McQueen ride it. I'm still not sure it's going to keep up with Honda.
Oh, man. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think that's one of those things. Racing, and so I'm reading a quote here from Nick Bloor, the Triumph guy. And he's like, racing is a big part of the program. Triumph is also committed to proving their product on racetracks and mountains of the world with the all-new Triumph factory race program focused on top-tier championship racing in both motocross and enduro series. That's the official word, but one would certainly not discount a rally entry coming down the line. Well, let me tell you what. Good for you. Ricky Carmichael. Fucking Ricky Carmichael has joined the Team Triumph. I'm thrilled to announce that I'm joining the Triumph family and even more excited to be part of their new endeavor into the off-road product category. This is an incredible opportunity for me to join its historic brand, and I'm honored and humbled to be a part of the development and release of Triumph's off-road motorcycles. Ricky fucking Carmichael.
That's a lot of word.
Number 4.
That's
Ivan Cervantes. Ivan Cervantes is with Triumph Motocross. They are getting some real fucking power. Proven professional racers that have excellent credentials to be a part of this team. 250 and 450 cc's. All right.
I don't think they're hitting this lightly, man. I think they're really going to try to make it
They've spent an awful lot of money trying to make this work.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if for nothing else, it's going to get a lot of people's attention to watch it and be like, let's see how the Triumphs do, right? Just like a NASCAR went out onto a IndyCar track, right?
Oh, no. You're talking about Le Mans.
I am talking about Le Mans.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. And a lot of people paid attention.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people paid attention. It was the front page news story.
I heard that eagle scream in the Camaro going by every 5 minutes. That's just the way it is.
KTM currently sells 2-stroke and 4-stroke bikes for more than $15,000 in record numbers. That's what Triumph's talking about.
Yeah, see, that I could buy, because if you're looking for a bike that you absolutely positively cannot fix no matter what happens to it at the end of the day, you get tired of owning a KTM, you buy a Triumph.
You buy a Triumph. And again, those vehicles are best when supported by a truck and a trailer that have a full of mechanics.
And the computer to connect to the...
And extra parts.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that weird thing. So it's like, are they really trying to be competitive?
I think they are.
Okay.
I really do.
All right. Well, there we go. I mean, that's badass, right?
When a 16-year-old passes you on a CR450, it's really
Yeah.
going to matter, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You're basically, when you're releasing something like that, you want, like, we're coming onto the scene and we want to stomp some ass and we want to win. We want a grand, national championship.
But here's the thing, Tom. Do you think, like, so if you take Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and whatever else makes dirt,
KTM, Husqvarna,
all that,
Yeah.
like the difference between them all has to be like 1%, right? Like, I mean, like how?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, this is going to be within a few percent. I think it's going
Yeah.
to come down to the rider. If they get the right rider,
Right.
because you get a professional rider, they could take a fucking
Oh,
Hawk 250.
historically
from-
speaking, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought up the NASCAR reference. Every
Right.
NASCAR literally is the exact same car with bodywork on it. I mean, this is all you're talking about here because that's the same upside down fork that everybody uses, the same tires, the wheels, the spokes, the chain.
Yeah, what real innovation is Triumph going to bring to the table?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Because that frame the frame that I'll pull it up so people can see it, the big deal that they're mentioning front page on their website is the frame.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, this frame looks a lot like every CR.
Yeah.
It's not that exotic.
I mean, there is no more space age material that Honda has not developed on anyway. Sure.
Right. Exactly.
The engine control module is literally what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And the rider.
Yeah. So I totally get it. I do. But again, I would never want to shoot down Triumph's statement like we're going to go motocrossing because Triumph did go motocrossing.
Yeah.
That's part of their history.
Yeah.
That's great. And they've done that. And that's cool. And it's great that they did do it. Would I think that you're going to be able to show up and out Honda or out Yamaha? I don't know, man. And I'm not the motocross guy. I'm not the guy who's going to weigh in on this. But if you pull up in the paddock and you're on Team Triumph and you look over and the guy next to you is Team KTM, yeah, you better have some secret sauce because I don't necessarily see that you're going to be able to,
Yeah, there's
You know
that frame.
what I really want to see since we're all talking about this?
yeah.
Team ClevelandMoto.
Well, we had a lot of talk about that today with the guys from QJ.
You're going to see Team Triumph, though. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think the next entry that's going to actually matter is when QJ or ClevelandMoto shows up
Right.
with the same bike at 20% less money.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to, I mean, these are, like I said, these are Indian built anyway.
Yep.
So,
Yep, that's true.
So, and then another piece of news in the motorcycle related thing.
Yeah.
This is a
Oh, wait, can I do?
Yep, go
hang
ahead.
on to that for 1 second because before we leave this, I want to say this. Fuck media. Fuck marketing.
Hey, that's my job, man.
Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, yeah. This
What
is
are we
not-
talking about right now? We're talking about Triumph announced the launch of motocross.
Right.
We are talking. Well, that was the headline.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about
That's
a
the
press-
headline that got us talking.
That's a press release, yes.
All right, guys. I'm going to call your attention to Exhibit A. Okay? Because in Exhibit A, there's only one video that highlights the frame of the product, right? That is the only fucking thing. I got to say, boys, they are advertising vapor.
Well, the article I saw actually had the full bite. Like,
This is their fucking website.
No, I know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like this article came out yesterday. It was
Right.
not by them.
Yeah.
It was by somebody that went and interviewed all the stuff. So I'm sure they're probably going to update this shit. soon.
I would hope that
Yeah.
Triumph on their website would have as much information as they're willing to give out to the
Well,
public.
But I'll say this:
Yeah.
for even at Summit, like to change something on the website,
yeah.
even if like we'll have stuff ready
Right.
for months.
Yeah.
But until it goes through all the brass and
Right.
all the brass are in an office and they
Yep.
can have a meeting and then they have to have a change because you know you can't just accept it the way it is. So by the time all that happens, it could take 4 months, but the product is already out and doing things. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So like I can see why this might not be updated.
When I'm on their website, the website they pay to produce, the website they have, Triumph has, not what Revzilla
No, but that's what I'm
wants
saying.
to
Like, it might
market
take
out.
forever to change this website because
Right.
their brass is like any other company where like
Right.
until
Well, this is their official launch video. So we're watching their official launch video right
is
now.
it old or new?
Brand new today.
Oh, it is today.
It's today.
Okay.
So this is from today.
Okay.
So this is from
So
today.
they did update it.
And
All
what I don't see in this video from today
Is the motorcycle.
is a motorcycle.
Right. Well, fast forward. Maybe they're waiting.
I see guys welding on stuff.
Right.
I see a frame being welded up. But what I don't see is I don't see an actual motorcycle.
If I want to see innovation and I'm seeing welding, I sure don't want to see dudes doing it. I'd rather just see it like that. That's the CNC machine.
Right. There's literally just a CNC machine kicking
Yeah.
chips all over the place.
Yeah.
That's what they're showing.
That seems inefficient.
Right. But you know what they haven't shown in their 5-minute and 11-second video?
Oh.
An actual motorcycle.
No.
And this to me screams of vaporware.
Okay.
Yep. Because what I haven't seen yet is a motorcycle being ridden by a human. And all I've seen so far is artist renderings, right? And this this CNC machine just making chips.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't even know
I've
what
seen a
it's
lot
making.
of that.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of 5 old white men standing around a table talking at each other, right? But what I haven't seen is a motorcycle.
Right.
And so I believe that they put this out and they did what they do, which is they let the media run with it.
Yeah.
And then every 14-year-old with artificial intelligence is out there. What would a Triumph dirt bike look like?
Right.
And chatbot,
And then,
look,
and
there's
then,
stuff bolted to it.
and then 5 old white guys sitting around a table drinking
Look,
beers
man,
going, hey, Triumph's going to make
if
a
you're
a
4
dirt
minutes,
bike.
if you're 4 minutes and 27 seconds into this video yet, and you haven't shown me a picture of the bike assembled yet,
Look,
you don't got to show me
I am
shit.
waiting for the Rotax motor to be bolted into that frame.
And I'm telling you, you ain't gonna see it.
You got 37
You got
seconds to bolt a
37
Rotax
seconds
into that
left.
baby.
You got 30 seconds
Oh.
left to bolt. They showed me a case. All right. They showed me the side of a water jacket. Right. There you go.
Oh, wait, there's the
Ooh,
clutch cover.
There's a clutch cover. Right. Yeah. What they haven't shown me yet.
I'm impressed that Rotax got that cut out that fast.
Yeah. So that's the point, is that's their video. And that's why everything else is an artist's concept drawing.
All right.
Every other picture of this thing, because what Triumph has to go with right now, this is the launch. And you know what?
Look at it. It says vision to reality, but then they never showed it to you.
They said they've shown you the vision. The reality comes later. I
Yeah,
promise.
okay.
This is 100% vision, reality not included.
No.
And it says don't miss episode 2, launching on the 15th of August, exploring the brand new Triumph motocross engine. We're a long way from this.
So
They
they're
may have
teasing
announced
it.
it today, but they didn't unveil it today.
Well, they did in this article, but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Yep.
I'm going to argue that the guy who wrote the article
Right.
wasn't from Triumph.
Okay.
Right. And he also has a top 10 list of the top 10 best electric motorcycles in America, none of which you can actually buy.
Right.
So stay tuned for the 4-valve Rotax motor coming soon to this Triumph website.
Probably true. Yeah.
So this next section is
Yes.
only going to be for Patreon listeners.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because-
So if you're not a Patreon listener, cover your ears.
You can't
So
hear that.
you're not going to be able to get, because this is actually going to earn them their money back and enough money to go on vacation.
Oh,
dang.
hello.
All right, so this is a
Don't
pro
buy
tip.
stock in Triumph.
This is a pro tip from Stony Steve. That's my
Okay.
new name. I got that.
Tony Steve.
Tony Steve.
So you
You don't want
ready?
to be sleepy anymore.
No, it's Sleepy Stony Steve. It's fine.
all right.
Yeah, I'd be confused without that name. But anyways, okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
So at this Reno car show I was at,
Yeah.
I learned something very important. This
Okay.
is important for
Tell
all
me
of
more.
us and everybody that's listening to us. You had your CT70, your Trail 70. You went to Mid-Ohio. You had your $5,000 price tag on
Right.
it. Nobody bought it.
Nobody bought it.
And you went home and you were like, I thought these were worth
I
a
thought
lot of
these
money.
were popular. Yeah.
Do not go to a vintage motorcycle show at your CT70 and try to sell it for $5,000.
No.
What you do is you go to the old band show,
Yeah.
like the Reno Hot August
Yep.
Nights,
Yep.
and you take all the CT70s you can find.
Absolutely.
And you dump them in the auction.
Yep.
And these old guys go, oh, man, I haven't seen one of those in 25 years.
Yeah,
Look how
buddy.
nice it looks.
Yeah, buddy.
So I have pictures. I'll even send it to you for show notes. There were 7 of them in line.
Right.
3 of them were nice restorations. One was what I can only call Ice Bear rebranded with a Piranha motor,
Excellent.
and another one. And
Yeah.
all of them sold for over $7,000.
Because car guys paid that much money for the upholstery on their back seat.
And if it matched their
Exactly.
car color,
Yeah.
ape shit.
Ape shit.
Like, so if
Yeah.
you're gonna paint a CT70
Right.
and you want to make money,
Yeah.
go
Paint it
to a hot
classic
rod
car
show.
colors.
Look up the favorite Ford or Chevy colors that they have. Paint it that color, dude. These guys, when I tell you,
Yeah.
so they came up. They're like, next on the auction
Salmon
block.
and black two-tone for the Crown Vic guys.
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, this guy was like, so everything before that,
Yeah.
like they'd be like 1968 Shelby, blah blah blah, you know, and it'd be like,
Yeah.
we have an online bid of
Does not meet
20,000.
reserve.
Next guy's like, okay, you know,
Right.
and then they'd be up there like, come on, this is a
Right.
great car.
Right.
Yeah,
Talking it up.
nothing, right?
Right.
So the guy wheels this fucking CT70 out, and I didn't even know they were there until I saw him wheel. I was like, oh shit.
Right.
Okay. He's like, very rare Honda in this condition. To find one in this condition is very rare. We're going to start the bidding out at $3,500.
Right.
And you hear all the guys go, ooh. And so he goes, all right, opening bidding. And it was like, dude. He's like 35, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Online, 45. And it gets to like 7,000. It slows down a little.
Yeah.
7,800.
Right.
7,900. The guy's like, woohoo. They were cheering and slapping each other on the back.
They were. Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
So for the record, you can buy an Ice Bear PB Z125 for about $1,200.
Bingo.
And all you have to do, they actually make Trail 70 and Trail 90 stickers. You can just strip the Ice Bear off the side.
No, but this one was even worse because it was the Ice Bear that was blown up, and then a Piranha motor put in the Ice Bear.
Of course.
And then there was a Honda CB160. I think that one for 52. There was, what was that piece of shit? There was a scooter that you would have been like, I won't bring that into my shop.
Right.
Oh,
I
well,
won't work on that scooter. Right. $2,000.
Well, the joke. Well, only $2,000.
I think I found what I'm doing with all my motorcycles.
I think I have too.
the big joke for ages has been the Viet Bodges that I always sell for is 66 Sprint.
There's always a 66
always sells for
Sprint with yellow center
$7,000.
stand boots. It sells for $7,000 at Barrett Jackson or whatever.
Because they don't hire
just
anybody
get
that
trotted across the stage, and everybody out there goes, $7,000. That was my round of drinks I just had.
Right. Oh, these guys have money. That's the one thing that these dudes had. So all these guys are. Look. So here's what I thought was funny. You know how like the older generation, which we're not ageists. You know, I don't care. You can be a cool 80-year-old. I don't care.
Could be.
Right. As long as you're a cool 80-year-old.
Right. Well, I'm saying this has more to do with their personality than their age. So I'm not trying to be an ageist or anything.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that
Hey,
everybody
assholes
there.
can be any age.
No, but I'm just saying. But it just happens to be that everybody there was old as fuck, right?
Yes, because that's where they go.
But here's the thing. When you look on social media, you go anywhere, you talk to these guys, all they do is complain about the young, entitled fucking kids.
Absolutely.
Well, I can tell you that there was a city of 25,000 octogenarians that were the most entitled motherfuckers
Of course
I have
they were.
ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Of course.
Walk right in front of you, step on you, push you out of the way to get a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I'm like,
And that's where they moved to Sparks, Nevada to be around themselves.
yeah.
That was it. When you go to these Disney communities, that's what it is.
Oh, my God.
That's,
Dude, the waiters and waitresses at restaurants, they look like they're about to kill themselves.
yeah. That's
like
it.
it's terrible.
Right.
Their tips. I watched a table of
I
10
can't even
people
imagine.
Oh, no.
have a bill of like $490
Left
and
a $20
$20 bill.
Yeah.
Unfucking
You
believable,
motherfuckers.
man.
Yeah.
I gave the kid a 10. I was like, I watched you serve that table, dude. Here's $10. Man.
Yeah.
Like I felt bad.
I felt rotten.
Yeah.
But that's exactly, and that's why that particular car show in that particular city is just over goddamn run.
You feel good to me.
Thank you. Yeah, but it's just a weird scene, man. And then like trying to talk to some of these guys. Occasionally you'll bump into a guy and he's like, I personally touched every nut and bolt on that. And that's the guy I want to talk to. And he tells me an awesome story about the car lived in his uncle's backyard for 70 years and he got it out and then made it into this car, you know. But half the time, the nicest cars, I'd go up to somebody and be like, hey, you want to tell me about your car? Nope.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you went to the gas station 10 minutes earlier when they were getting gas, they would have talked to you for 3 hours.
Oh, that dude would have held you hostage.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting in that regard. And then, but a lot of the younger guys there, you know, like they talked about their cars and stuff, and they're more like motor bisexual. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? Like they talk about motorcycles. These guys are like, no, I don't do anything.
Because of the hearses, I decided, okay, I'll throw a shot across the bow. I'll try to sell one of my hearses. I'll show up at a car show. And I show up at a big-ass, giant fucking car show in Avon Lake with 2,000 cars or whatever. And I'll show up and I'll roll in. And everybody loses their goddamn mind because it's not another Nova. Right? Oh, it's not another Nova. It's not another Nomad. It's not another Belvedere or whatever. And so I show up in a hearse and they're like, crazy cool. And then I park it and I put my little sign. I already made my little sign up. Says what it is because it's weird.
Yep.
You know? And I'll lay that thing up on the dashboard and then I'll get to walking around, right? And what I learned is every single guy out there has got his lawn chairs and his umbrella up, and they sit behind the car.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're inspecting the trunk 24/7. And the hood's open if it's good, and the trunk's open if it's good. And then him and his old lady or him and his old man are sitting back there, right? Just, talking about whatever, just getting older.
Yep.
And just sinking further into the asphalt behind Walgreens.
Yep.
Right? And I was like, this sucks. This just sucks. I made a lap of the place. I was like, God
very depressing.
damn it. This
It's
is
very depressing.
awful.
And there's always a DJ playing
Yeah.
music way too loud through the wrong speaker.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just like,
Yeah, it does.
in the background.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this fucking bites, man. This fucking blows. And then this old guy comes up. He's like, Yoda. And he comes up in a Summit Racing shirt, and he's got a pail. He's got like a bucket full of stuff, like cleaning products and everything else in it. And he goes, "Did you register for the car show yet?" And I'm like, I didn't register. I'm just going to pull in there over there. He goes, "Oh, but go over there and register because we decided you're going to win a class." I was like, "I'm going to win a class?" He's like, "Yeah, if you go over and register, we're going to do the drawing. We're going to give you an award because we ain't never seen any shit like that before."
Yeah.
Gold-plated Japanese hearse, that shit's crazy. Do you deliver Chinese food and that shit? And I was like, well, on behalf of all those people, I'm insulted. But anyway, sure, I'll go register. So I got tricked.
Yep.
So I went over and I registered. It was free. And I went over and I registered. I put my information on there. They gave me a little thing for the dashboard, right? They gave me a little dashboard plaque. It was kind of cool, a little kick-ass metal plate. I was like, oh, cool little metal adhesive plate from the dashboard. And I looked, and these cars have hundreds of metal plates on the dashboard. Hundreds and hundreds of plates. And I was like, oh, my God, man. And it was cool because it was, free. And then I was like, okay, cool. When do you guys do the awards? 5 o'clock. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's the wrong side of 2 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck am I going to do for 3 hours?
Yep.
So
Stare at your trunk.
I basically wandered around I opened up all the doors.
Yep.
So I opened up all the doors on the hearse, opened up every door on the thing, and basically until I got bored, all the kids walking around, I was like, hey, crawl up in there. What? Crawl up in there. I took the rollers out, right? So they can't get hurt. Crawl up in there. Look, there's chandeliers in the back, and it's really cool. You've seen the back of the hearse. It's
Dragons,
badass.
yeah.
And the kids are in there, and they're taking pictures, and they're having a great time. And it's 4 on the tree. It's weird. And I'm like, hey, get in there. You ever seen a 4 on the tree before?
Hey, kids, you ever seen a dead body?
And I got people going in and out of it, and it's kind of fun.
Ever seen a dead body naked?
Right. Hey, guys, you know what formaldehyde smells like? Get in, because now you do. And because the Mercedes smells thick of formaldehyde.
Yeah.
It's like somebody dumped 50 gallons of formaldehyde in that goddamn thing. So I'm letting people get in and out of it. So I got the doors open. And so the guys next to me on the left and the right are both giving me hate. So the guy in the tea bucket with the giant oversized Mickey Thompsons, we all know that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guy on the other side with the Shelby whatever,
Yep.
the GT350, not a KR. They're both giving me hate. And I'm like, why? What's the matter? And he goes, oh, all these kids coming out of your car. All these kids and these people coming in and out of your car. They're getting really close to our car.
Yep. I'm sorry, man. Are they going to damage the plastic your tea bucket's made out of?
I was like, dude, I'm trying to make this place a little more interesting because this place is a ghost town. It's basically a museum where you guys are just parked up behind it. What do you do? What do you do? You sit in that lawn chair and you answer the same questions?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a 289? Yep.
Yeah.
What serial number is it? And fuck you, man. Like, there's got to be something better to do to ignore your children, your grandchildren on a Sunday, right? So I was trying to have fun with it, get people in and out of the thing, let them take pictures and shit. And they didn't like me. They did not
these
like
guys,
me.
Dude, I was going, so I'm like, I have to go and do interviews and get all these shots. So, I mean, I asked my boss, I'm like, I can use my discretion. Like, I like weird shit. And he was like, yeah, he goes, weird shit can be great. He goes, but just make sure you're thinking of our customers as something that they'd be interested in, right? So
we want to see a lot of Ellis.
Well, no. So I'm walking around and I found like a really interesting Studebaker that was almost stock, but then the dude did like period correct little details to it and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was interesting. So I'm talking to him, right? The guy next to him has like this ridiculous like Camaro, like everything on it's perfect. Yeah. But you can obviously tell that he paid somebody like $150,000 to build it.
To build out the world's most perfect Camaro.
Yeah, because he has rings on all his shit. He's just a guy doesn't work on cars.
Right. Yeah.
So he's sitting there and he goes, you interviewing everybody? And I go, no, just stuff I find interesting. And he goes, what do you think about that? I'm like, There's about 175 of those here.
Right. Yeah.
And I just walked away,
Yeah.
and you could just see his face going
Yeah.
like,
It's another black street glide.
yeah, exactly.
You can't find your car in the parking lot, man.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that a 68 Camaro? Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Holy shit.
Oh,
it-
look, it's a Chevelle.
Yeah. Oh, a Gen 2 Mustang or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Holy
right.
fuck, man. Never
Yeah.
seen one of them before.
Wow, it's Fox Body.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't seen those
Yeah.
yet. I don't see how I do not enjoy the car culture thing. And I'm glad that in our motorcycle, because we've gone to stuff at Quaker Steak and Lube where there's been 5,000 Harley Davidsons.
I actually used to enjoy the car culture show in Lakewood.
In Lakewood. Now, that's a little different,
Yeah.
John.
Well, this weekend.
How was that event different?
Well, you get like a David Bradley tractor motorcycle thing showed
Yeah.
up, was cool.
Yeah. And how else was it different?
There was a rockabilly band.
was
Was
about
it
to say.
in a Walgreens parking lot?
No, it was on the street.
Did they what?
They closed down the street.
They shut down a goddamn street in the city of Lakewood.
Or how about this, though? How about the Hillbilly or the Rockabilly Ruckus?
Same thing.
That's a car
Right.
show. It's at a fairgrounds, but they do shit. It's fun.
Right.
There's good music. There's stuff going
Right.
on. And that's what we were talking about before the podcast.
Right.
I want to know how many more years you're going to go to car shows and
Right.
it's going to be this 50s fucking centric stuff. Because all those
Because
guys, think
the
about
50s guys are dying right now.
it. How old did they be? If you were 18 in 1950,
Right.
you're 90,
You're 100
right?
now,
You're
right?
100.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you're.
Yeah.
So like, why are we still playing fucking shoop doo wop da whoop and the fucking thing? Like, 'cause seriously, they're trying to appeal to like 20%. There was a lot of
Yeah,
dudes,
Tommy James and the Shondells are about 100 right now.
right? And the thing is that
Yeah.
I would say still a bunch of dicks,
Right.
but a lot of the guys were between 60 and 70.
Yeah.
Their period is like, why isn't the Allman Brothers playing? Or
I would make perfect sense.
Right? Like
Right.
it would. I don't know.
Right.
That was just weird to me.
Yeah.
Because like all the doo-wop bands that were playing on these stages,
Right.
the ladies were 70.
Yes.
Like they're
and
wearing the
poodle
poodle skirts.
They're wearing
with the-
poodle skirts.
Yeah.
And they're 70 plus.
And they're,
Yeah.
God
there's
bless
only
them.
there's only like one original member, and he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, right,
and,
yeah.
You know, and
I've
there's-
done all the Rock
Oh,
Hall
yeah.
inductions.
And just like so, these dudes, some of these motherfuckers for some of these shows, the entry fees are not light.
no.
But this was
you have
great.
to pay a lot of money to show off the car you just bought.
So I did learn something that was pretty interesting too, and I think you probably already knew this. But so like I didn't know when the awards were. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in all these interviews and stuff like that. And so also it's Reno, so you think it's called Hot August Nights. You think the shows would be at night.
I think they would start at 9 p.m.
Yeah. No, they start at 8 a.m. and go to about 4. So like you're out in 190 degree weather just dying and melting and stuff like
it's
that.
called Hot August Nights.
Yeah.
Don't they know when the Denny's early bird special is?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
you should lean into it so tough. You should have a car show that starts at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and goes till about 8:30.
Yeah.
That's
And then you should have the day off from 8:30 a.m. to just go hide.
that's the next
Like a
generation car
lizard.
show.
Do you know that
like a
generation?
lizard.
The only group of dudes that I really enjoyed at
Yeah.
this whole car show was the Latino dudes.
Of
with their
course.
fucking lowriders.
Oh, yeah.
Because like they
And
kind of
they bring out the lowriders and the bombs. And
Well,
it's
they
like,
they
it's so
weaseled
good.
their way in,
Yeah.
and like they as a local club.
Sure.
But
Oh, yeah.
then but those Latin dudes when they have a club,
Yeah.
they're like 50 strong, and
Oh, yeah.
every car
They have matching shirts.
and every car is fucking sick.
It's like a bowling league.
It is a bull.
Dude, this dude had a lowrider with about 27 colors of paint on it.
Yeah.
All the 3-wheel motion
Sure.
shit.
Yep.
Everything under the car was chromed.
Yep.
And also engraved.
cool.
And then at one point in the afternoon, he pulled the car in and put it up on this impossible fucking one wheel in the air and all this shit. And then he took the wheel off.
Yeah.
And like the internal part of the brake rotor is engraved that goes behind the tire.
It's like a British Lambretta.
Yeah, and on the inside, then when it was up like that, you could look underneath it. And like even the floor pans that wrapped underneath the rocker,
Yeah.
it's engraved all the way to the part that you can't see it.
My God.
The drive shaft,
Yeah.
it was an intricately portrait engraves on the drive shaft and shit. It's insane.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I started talking to the guys, and I was like, obviously you guys have a really cool club and a
Right.
culture, and it seems like you spend a lot of time together. I was like, so how when you work on cars? He goes, usually what happens is like somebody will be like, oh, we're going to work on Jose's car this weekend. And like 20 guys are there. And like one guy will be
Nice.
doing this, one guy's
Very
doing
nice.
that, the engravers are doing this.
Really?
And they all work together on that one guy's
that one car.
to
Nice.
bust it up to a next level.
Yeah.
It's really a cool, they were, but meanwhile,
Now, see, that's a car culture right there.
That's what happened in my garage when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah.
My dad would be in the garage working on one guy's car.
Yeah.
But then all of his friends would show up. And so you'd end up having a dozen guys working on the car. And then, of course, I was the wrench runner.
yeah.
And hold the fucking flashlight, Phil.
Yep.
Right.
And do it right this time.
Oh, I get yelled at by
Me
like
too.
people that.
My dad would be like, I need to see, not you. Sorry.
My dad would come back and he's like, occasionally he'd be like, God damn it, don't you know the difference between a fucking 6-point and a fucking 12-point?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't ask you for this.
Dude,
this isn't what I asked you for.
I would get in trouble. My dad would say, bring me an extension, right?
Right. Yeah.
But if I didn't pay attention, if it was a
Right.
3/4, because I didn't
Yeah.
know, I'd
Oh.
bring the wrong one. He'd be like,
Right.
you didn't look before you walked away. What are you, a fucking moron?
Yeah. Oh,
I was helping my dad one day, and we were drilling a hole through a piece of wood. And he's like, "Hold the wood."
right.
And I'm like,
You became the drill press?
Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to drill you. I have a scar right there where he drilled me right in the wrist.
I'll never trust you ever again, Dad.
But so the one, so there was 3 guys standing there, and one guy seemed pretty cool, and he was with 2 older guys,
Yeah.
and they were bitching about the Mexicans because they were full MAGA dudes, you know, like they didn't
Yeah,
like
right,
the fact
right.
that these Mexicans had a
Yeah.
thing, right?
And their
He was
cars
like,
were better.
Well, this
The
is
45
the
car
guy
club.
had the best thing,
Yeah.
so he's sitting there and they're like, these lazy motherfuckers. He's like, lazy? Did you see the engraving under
I
the
was going to
car?
say,
Dude, man.
it's the opposite of lazy.
You paid a 30-year-old to
you
slap
have
parts
an
on your
engraved
68
drive
Camaro,
shaft?
and this guy right here, he and 20 of his friends built that car. You paid somebody to slap your 68 Camaro
Right.
together.
And when I say engraved, I'm not talking about just wiggly lines. I'm talking a fucking portrait.
Right.
Like
I mean,
people's
that's
portraits.
the whole thing. Is like, I have been working around Mexican people most of my life.
Right.
Here's one phrase I will never ever use: lazy.
No.
No. The worst thing you can ever be, if you were like, it's hot today, and you're on a roofing job, or you're in a warehouse job, or you're loading a truck, or you're doing anything, and the
Or you're a doctor or
and
whatever,
the
it doesn't
Mexican
matter.
guys show up,
Yeah.
you are not going to have a nice day.
No.
Because you're going to have to keep up.
Yep.
And I would rather keep up with Amish than keep up with Mexicans.
Right. And here's the thing that people always mistake. The whole machismo thing.
Yeah.
So they can't not work as hard as their dude next to him because
Yeah.
then they'd be a pussy.
Yeah.
It is seriously.
Right.
If the one guy is doing one-hit roofing nails,
Right.
if he's doing one-hit roofing nails,
Everybody else has to. Too.
everyone else has to be doing one-hit roofing nails too.
Or you're underneath him. You're just.
And it's crazy. And I mean, when I was young and I'm putting on roofs, and I would get a little bit of a yaw going, just a couple of tabs, a little bit out of line, they would call you out in a second.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on a crew where it's like there's maybe 3 or 4 Mexican guys and me, and they would just be like, oh man, look at what you did. What? Look at what you did.
Mr. George, how much you pay for the new guy?
He's no good.
You know good. You know good. You know good.
I got called out so hard, and I was like, and I felt bad too because I was so happy I was keeping up.
Yeah.
And I'm just pouring sweat.
Yep.
And then they'd be like, man, I think you got to go back and fix that. And you got to fix everyone you dropped after that because they're all out of a line now.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're gonna make that roof look like it's bent.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it'll be fine. And then I go back and look at the job from the ground, and I'm like, oh shit. The one I did, the rows I
Set
did
the
looked
whole
like
thing
shit, and the rows they did were perfectly laser beam straight. So don't tell me about how lazy anybody is.
Right.
When
Well,
they're fucking doing 3 times the work I
Well,
am.
I mean, that was the part that made it so funny. It was
Yeah.
like the antithesis of what he was talking about
Right.
was literally in front of
It's
him.
in front of him.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see your brake rotors, fuck knuckle. Your shit came from China.
And you didn't touch any of it. You drove it
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Yeah.
probably trailered it and then
Right.
pulled it out of the trailer.
Well, yeah, you might get dirt on it.
Yeah.
And then
And
he's gonna,
meanwhile, I'm sure the guy that's got his fucking lowrider is out there sprung and hipping and hopping and doing the whole
Oh, they
deal.
did the whole. Yeah.
And every time he puts his foot on the brake, he's running his brake pads,
Yep.
his semi-metallics against somebody's mom's painting,
Yeah,
portrait.
right.
Right? So, yeah.
Well, and they even had the thing where they let
Hats
their
off to
ladies.
them.
They let their ladies drive.
Oh, why not?
And they had hand signals. So like when they were coming down the
Yeah.
road, he'd be like 1, 2, 1, and so she'd hit.
Oh, she'd play
switch
it out.
1,
Oh,
switch
yeah.
2, and so that way the ladies, because they were all done up and like.
Tell
Yep.
me you don't think
Yep.
that's cool. Because
cool as
I think
fuck.
that's fucking
No,
cool.
it's fucking amazing.
Right. I think that's cool.
Dude,
Like,
I would have taken one of those.
if I could
lowriders.
turn any truck I've ever owned into a transformer
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
that sounds cool.
Well, the one dude had the bed of his pickup truck went up like a carnival wheel and started spinning.
The spinner
everywhere.
beds, yeah.
And then the sides moved out and started
Yeah.
going up and down,
Yeah.
and like, it was all this crazy shit.
There ain't no, I don't, look, you gotta step back and go, yeah, that's cool.
It's cool.
Because I will admit it. I that 71 Ford Econoline, that mid Ford, the day I put air shocks in the back of it, I was just like, check it out.
Yeah.
Load motorcycle. Watch this.
Yep.
It jacked up in the back, looking like a fucking Hot Wheels car.
Well, and you know what else is kind of cool about that whole culture? Is like, so you got the white boys on the crotch rockets, and they kill a bunch of people because they're stupid and they lail into them, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You got the Ricer kids out there street racing, smashing into shit.
Absolutely.
The whole thing about the lowrider culture is low and slow.
Low and slow.
So when they go down the street, they're doing 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not hurting anybody. Even if they lose control, nothing's wrong.
Nobody ever said a guy on the marijuana driving a lowrider drove into a crowd of people today and killed them.
At 80 miles an hour.
Oh shit! He's out of control.
No, it's okay to 3-inch curb stop the car.
He's coming right at us. Yeah, that's so fucking true, man.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true. Nobody ever left a fucking lowrider show in their 5.0 sideways fox-bodied Mustang killing a bunch of people.
Right. Well, because you think about like a lot of the other inner city things, like when they do the shows, or what do they call? What do they call
when
them?
they steal a Dodge Charger and they take over the
Side
street
show.
and they
do the
slam
side
into
shows.
they slam into the crowd.
Yeah, they do their donuts and they almost kill everybody.
Yeah.
And like at Fuel with the douche nozzle on the fucking whatever that thing
The
was.
dude in the slingshot.
Oh god,
with
yeah.
the 24-inch rims.
Yeah.
The guy that went to AutoZone and was like, "Do you have LED lights?"
Do you really?
And he was like, "We have a lot." He was like, "Yes,
I will have all of them.
all of them.
I will have all of them.
That-
Can you show me to your 3M adhesives aisle?
That is the most amazing Chevy Cavalier on 3 wheels.
Yeah." But dude, if he would have gone 1 more inch and hit those choppers,
Oh yeah, no.
So wait, I guess go ahead and tell him about this because I don't think we
respect.
talked about it.
Okay, we went to Fuel Friday night after our last podcast. And so Fuel had their opening night at the Skidmark Garage, which we love dearly. Brian and the guys at Skidmark Garage always put on a good show. And it's a place where it's the only motorcycle co-op I've ever seen in America that actually works. Like people show up and they work on their shit. There's benches for everybody. There's tools are laid out.
People like each other.
There's a machine in the corner that just constantly spits out 10mm sockets.
it hasn't
So-
it hasn't imploded. I am impressed.
It's incredible that it's been going on as long as it has, and we're so proud of Brian for doing it and all the people that give everything to that.
But he's also, Brian, to his credit,
Yeah.
he's the right guy.
He is
'Cause
the
he's
right guy.
super inclusive, which is rare to find in that type of thing, too.
and he's humble,
yeah.
right? He's not trying to be God's gift to mechanics,
Right.
but he's a facilitator,
Yeah.
right? He makes that shit happen, and he gets everybody involved, and you want to help him. When you meet him, he's a nice guy. You want to help him. So we went to this thing Friday night, and I mean, I'm going to grant it. There's no AC in that building. It's a warehouse. It's
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland as Cleveland gets.
You were moist instantly.
And the second I went in there, I was like, sweat-proof parts of me were sweating.
Yeah.
Right?
Things were stuck to things that...
My face was leaking from all areas. My ears were sweating on the inside. I didn't even know that was.
It was warm enough in the building that
Yeah.
the guy from New Orleans actually found a fan to stand in front of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really
I
fucking
mean,
toasty.
it's the kind of warm when you walk in.
Right.
Within 3 seconds, you get a bead of sweat that will run down your butt crack.
Yeah, and like Lounge Kitty, she's performing it. Like the band's killing it. Right?
Yeah, they were
Like,
really good.
They
Oh,
were
yeah.
killing it. They were doing a great job, sweating their balls off too.
Oh, yeah.
right. And there were drink tickets, and it was cool, and it was IPA, which I don't like. John and I were just like, oh man, we fought our way to the bottom of those beers.
And y'all dropped mine in the middle of the parking lot.
I dove on that son bitch and saved it. Steve's got it on video.
I got there and I swore I thought y'all were shotgunning my ciders.
No.
No, that was some
no, I
bullshit. That
get
was
it.
some bullshit beer.
He was he was keeping it from like hosing all the motorcycles.
Yeah, it was. That thing hit the ground and it was angry.
That's what happens when you grab the best paper bag out of the garbage that you can find.
But okay, get back to the
We
car.
were having a
Anyway.
good time. We were having a good time. And then, as usual, about every 37 seconds, somebody lights up. Right? Somebody lights up a burnout.
But this guy was not part of the
But
group.
this guy was not
Yeah.
part of the group. He was a drive-by. He saw a thing happening. And Cleveland has got a lot of guys in Can-Am Spiders and a lot of guys in slingshots that are just urban fellas. And they have got these things to the nines.
But the interesting part about this is like, I'm not saying a specific kind of guy.
This dude
but
was boat shoes.
This dude was a dentist.
This dude was boat shoes.
Yeah.
He was boat shoes from
Dennis
the top to
McGee.
the bottom.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
he was trying to
He
play
was
his
yacht
gangster
club
life,
motherfucker.
but he was trying to play a G.
He was having a day. He was on, you know what? That might have been a rental. And he showed up with this thing that best I could say is it was rainbow bright meets three-wheeled motorcycle / car adventure, right?
Yeah.
And this thing was all illuminated. But the crowd, every time you'd go out to your motorcycle, and I don't care what you were riding, if you're riding a 1964 Rupp, do a wheelie, do a burnout. It's peer pressure.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You don't have to play that game. You can leave. And many people left.
I did.
But he got the red mist.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And he got the red mist. And he's like, okay. There was about one half of one standard car lane between the Harleys, the food trucks, and the other motorcycles.
And the chain link fence and the entrance and everything.
And
on the
somehow he did a 360-degree smoky burnout.
like multiple times, swinging it around.
And I swear to God, he had a line locker for his front left brake and his front right brake. So he could lock the front left brake or lock the front right brake so it would pivot on that wheel.
Yeah.
Like a dog with a broken leg.
But he did. I mean, he was 1 inch from taking out.
Oh, that was
several
20
bikes.
seconds from disaster all the way around.
Yeah.
The whole way. And
If he wouldn't have
we were
stopped
all-
on that third time around,
Yeah.
he would have owed a lot of money to
But
a lot
again-
of people.
The difference between
Glory and
glory and failure,
Yep.
right, is that 1 inch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the dude got the glory pass.
But it was not skill. That was luck. On like there, like some people. Have
I'm going to
this-
say it was skilled.
No.
I'm going to say it was skilled because he didn't hit anything. And he lived to tell about it, and he got away clean.
And
Okay.
he knew to shut it down before it got out of hand.
And that was the other thing.
He
That
did
was the
not
thing. He
know.
shut it down.
He did not know. It was the guy outside going, "Fucking stop!" to the guy. That's when he stopped.
That's fair.
That's also a good sign
That's
of
also
education.
good because he listened. Because at that point,
You know what? An asshole wouldn't have listened.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy was like, okay, had my
Okay,
fun. I'm
had fun.
leaving.
Yeah,
But you know what? He did put on a hell of a show.
yeah.
And he held it together and he didn't hit nobody.
Yep.
Which is super cool.
because normally when you perform in front of an audience, you screw it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair game.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
That's usually the way it works. There's a point where 4 people are watching you and you pull it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
When 40 people are watching you, you're going to eat shit.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But I got to say, the event was fucking on the money. It was great. I did not make it to Hale Farm. So you went to Hale Farm. Who all went to?
did.
Raise your
I-
hand if you
I
went to
ended
Hale
up there
Farm.
too.
Excellent. What'd you think about Hale Farm?
It was cool. You know what I thought this year was kind of neat? I noticed a trend of like the super custom choppers actually being rideable. Not all of them, but the majority.
Yeah, some of them even had 2 handlebars.
Yeah, some of them had like more of a beach cruiser bar coming back,
Yeah.
and a seat that looked like you could sit on it.
Yeah.
And a foot position. Like you still had a couple of those fucking like what are you gonna do with that? You can't ride
Yeah,
that. You
it's
know, like, whatever.
Rideables, yeah. Hardly rideables.
They had if I had to pick a few bikes I thought were really outstanding, one was the inertia starter.
Yep.
The dude took an old air raid siren and it cranks up and then it kicks over and
Yeah.
hits the thing and starts. That was pretty cool. There was a white bike that was sleek as fuck. Like it had like a real interesting like triangular girder fork. It looked rideable. It was low and nice. But I'm looking at the engine and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And you look closer and you're like, huh? And I'm like that. And I'm thinking that bottom end is custom made. That
Right.
top is something. So this guy's walking around and looks like he knows what he's talking about. So I'm
Right.
like, hey, what's with this bike? He
Yeah.
goes, oh, that's a helicopter cylinder.
Yeah.
Custom made crankcase. And then transmission, everything are all handmade.
Wow.
And the frame and everything. So like that was really neat. It's like
That's
an
amazing.
aircraft. It might helicopter. I don't know either one
Right.
it is, but it's definitely an aircraft
Yeah.
cylinder. I don't know the CCs or anything, but the fucking head was like that big.
It's cool.
Yeah. There was another Harley that had one of the cylinders removed with the block off plate.
I saw that.
I want to hear it. Does it just go patat?
No, it's
Patat?
No, it's basically
It's a tater
it's basically
tot.
a Buell Blast.
I was going to say it's a Buell Blast.
Yeah.
That's it. Half Sportster, Buell Blast.
Yeah. And then there was the elephant in the room, which was called Lucky, and it was just a big Harley with a sidecar.
Yeah.
With about 72,000 carnival lights.
It was
on
1974. Because when I was a kid growing up, that was the style.
Yeah.
Those particular bars with those lights and those lenses,
Well.
that was the style. And when that style hit, the folks on the east side of Cleveland embraced that style.
That's what launched J.C. Whitney as a
It
as a
did.
business.
Yes, it did.
Oh, you're right.
And you could line this shit up like fence rails, right?
Yeah.
And you could have 20 or 30 of these fucking fence rails on your bike. So the point where you could hide the whole bike just behind these lenses
that's-
and
that's what
racks
he
and
did.
racks of lights. And as a kid growing up, like the one guy down the street from me was like, yeah, I got 3 rows.
Yeah.
And then the other guy comes out and he's like, I got 6 rows.
This guy had
that guy
all
had
the
49 rows.
Yep. And what
Right.
was interesting, and I don't know if this is actually what he used, but so on the fender, It also had like Art Deco, like levels of metal that were gold and stuff. And I swear, a few of the levels had trailer hitches on them.
I think you're right.
There's like three balls of like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't see that bike. Every time I looked over there, the sun would reflect off it and blind me. Did you talk to the guy with the Cleveland cycles? He's way back across the road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the
He's
Cleveland.
telling me he hasn't even tried to turn that bike over. He had somebody offer him like $60,000.
Yeah, because it's a Cleveland. It's
a Cleveland, yeah.
It looks like an old Harley, but it's a Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really beautiful bike. I'm sure you can find. It's Lucky something. If you do Fuel Cleveland, Lucky Clown, Lucky Chopper, Lucky Sidecar, some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's going to come up. Yeah. But that's.
Oh, go to my. If you hit my video.
Right.
And just keep.
I don't know. Can we show
it.
that without YouTube yelling at us?
Just turn the volume down.
Okay, can do.
Yeah, I mean, I will argue with them. We own the fucking copyright to
we
that
own
fucking
this
video,
right? Yeah. We don't
I'm
have
running
to.
video right now anyway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but if you just scrolled through it or whatever, it's in there. But I mean, whatever. You
and
get
this
the
is a
idea.
great. Sleepy did a fantastic. It's called Fuel Cleveland 2023 Motorcycle Show.
No, I didn't do fantastic because everything I did fantastic. My microphone didn't work.
I disagree. I totally disagree.
Right.
Because even though there's no audio, aside from the fact that you loop that same song over again, because good song, first time through.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean,
You got to do what you got to do.
got to pay for songs, man.
Right.
I don't fucking pay for a song.
I just thought you made songs.
I do sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm spoiled now. After your Mid-Ohio song,
Blown away.
blown away.
Wait, no, I'm redoing that one now.
Are
It's
you?
gonna be. Oh yeah, it's
They
getting
need to
solos
pay
and
you
everything.
for that. I mean,
Oh,
Mid-Ohio
dude.
needs
Yeah.
to buy that.
I agree.
No, they're gonna pay for the performance when me and Johnny play it live next year.
Oh man, yes, for real, that should happen. But I do think
so.
that
In Camp Cleveland next year, we are
Right.
going to have a stage as well as the buffet.
right,
We're gonna have
right.
Sleepy's Bluegrass Jam. Some
There we
people
go.
set it up to like, man, we got to bring some guitars to start picking. I was
Yes.
like, well, yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Yeah, there's the thing.
You
We
have to
that.
twist his arm to make him
Yeah.
now. Not
There
really.
is a thing that we have, and we can make that happen.
Yep.
I do not, for the life of me, I do not know how you managed to pull together that song for Mid-Ohio.
It happened at night when I was really interested.
lot of drugs.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, I had an idea on the way home, and it must have stuck with me. And I came
Yeah.
home and was fucking around, and then that happened.
I just think it's great how you conjured.
Performance enhancing
Yep,
drugs.
you conjured that up. That is exactly what happened. Yeah, that's badass.
The only thing I really like about the whole song is
Yeah.
we'll ride a million miles on tiny pit.
On
bikes.
tiny pit
That's my
bikes.
favorite fucking
yeah,
thing.
It's fantastic, dude. It is one of those things where when I listened to it the first time through, I was like, "Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Wait, that's all you."
Yeah,
But none of it sounds like you.
right.
So what the hell kind of how much do you hate yourself that you didn't give yourself one track?
What?
One audio track. Like not one of those audio tracks is your natural voice.
No, because it's not my usual style. Like I mean, I play bluegrass and stuff, but
Yes.
that's more of like a, I don't know, like a Johnny Cash fucking like talking through song. So
It's amazing.
It's a hot rod Lincoln.
It's
song.
a hot.
yeah,
It
but-
is a
but
fine.
do you know
song.
why it
Yeah.
worked? Because I had Mid-Ohio dust in my throat from the week before. That's the only reason that happened.
When I heard that audio track, and we're gonna make sure to put it up in the show notes.
Yeah.
When I heard the audio track the first time when you played it here, I was like, okay. When I went home and played it for Merritt, and Merritt was like, "This is Sleepy," and I'm like, "All 5 of those guys are Sleepy."
There's my hat.
Right, there's my right fast 10 chances out. Yep. I was like, when I told her, I was like, all 5 of the guys, the voices you're hearing are Sleepy.
Yeah.
All the instruments are Sleepy.
Right.
This is a David Grohl experience going
Right,
on
yeah,
right now,
it's
right?
happened, yeah.
Right. I don't have a whole band, so I'm going to make one band out of me.
Yeah, I'm sick of just nobody has time. So
Nobody has time to record
I know.
anything. So it's fantastic. It's a fantastic cut anyway. And I know you're embarrassed because we're shining some light on you.
No, it's all right, but I just want to make it good though. That was like that happened. I don't even know how it happened, but I want to make it like a really good song now. So that's
If that happens when you're not awake and you're not aware, what happens when you put your mind to it?
Yeah,
God
hopefully
damn it!
something pretty good.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking great. Because that is something that could be, and the video
yeah.
of the drone shots of Mid-Ohio for people that have lived there and chewed on that dirt. Wasn't that, Dan? I mean,
It's incredible. I mean,
it's fucking
they
incredible.
need to pay you for that.
So look, there's you, you're saving the beer.
Me saving Tom's beer. That's it. Right, yeah. That all happened. That's real.
Yes.
We didn't make that up.
Oh yeah, and the dude doing the burnouts or the wheel or the is
Yeah.
on there too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
I
here.
forgot about that.
So I really do feel like, for of course, for Mid-Ohio, if you want to tune that up, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to add
Oh, I have to add
Mackel
John.
Fresh, right? You should.
Well, it mentions the Bourbon Fairy, so how cool would it be to have the Bourbon Fairy sing on it, right? Yeah.
Oh, we can all sit here and we can
there's the burnout.
There it is.
we can record tracks. I have no problem at all.
Yeah, see, right there is where he
Yeah,
just about ate it.
but he pulled it off.
He won.
I was shocked at how good the turning radius is
Yeah.
on one of those fucking things, because the Can-Am is not so good.
No.
But what I will say about your recording of the song, the Mid-Ohio, the Ode to Mid-Ohio,
Yeah.
is if you want to record that, there's no reason why we can't each sing a line.
Well, you have to.
We can sing a part.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
especially the choruses.
We can all do it.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do. Actually,
Yeah.
what I was going to do after I do the new version.
Yeah.
Because we can sit here and I
Right.
can take your guys and you can each sing a verse and I can pile all
course.
those verses
Yeah,
together.
lay 'em on it. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, that was my
Yeah.
intention. Yeah, 100%.
I think that would be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be a fun thing. And it also, again, it's a tribute to what we love to do.
Yeah.
It is. And it's another thing, too, that, I'm honestly shocked that I know it's a good weekend because you guys aren't sitting around with guitars out. I know it's because there's too much other shit to do.
Yeah, right.
People keep bringing bikes to John to fix
Yep.
at all hours. He's got to diddle shit constantly.
Oh, well, we have to talk about that. So now John has extended his resume. So
Yeah.
not only is he the Honda Whisperer, but now he's the Suzuki Schlater. What did he call you? The Suzuki what?
I don't recall.
Slaughterer? Or
Oh, the Suzuki slanderer.
Suzuki Slander. Not the
what
Honda
did you
Whisperer and
do
the
this
Suzuki
week?
Slander.
You got a potato now.
Yeah, I got a 1993 Intruder Alert VS 800.
It's the 800, right? Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it,
Right.
considering what I paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
It was a literal bro deal. My brother it was given to him,
Yep.
and he giveth it to me.
Right.
So
they only came in 3 colors: blue, red, and black. And you got the black one.
I got the black one.
You got the black one. Yep.
And it's I had seen it before, but I hadn't really looked at it. But now that I got it home, I'm like, man, it's really clean.
Yeah.
And
There's the Cleveland company.
this,
right
Yeah.
here.
There's the single cylinder Cleveland. Yes, exactly.
I think there's a 4-cylinder Cleveland too.
There is. Yep.
It might be the first bike that I'm not going to have to clean the carburetors on.
Now
That's the
that
inertia starter bike.
there's-
See that thing on the
that's
side?
The cranky.
Yep.
Yep. The so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the. I'm going to pull up the the intruder, the anal intruder, so that we can all kind of gaze at that lovingly.
I like the front tire. It looks like, what's the Harley that has a big front tire like that?
All of them. The 21-inch pizza cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Anything with the letter C after it. Yep.
Okay. Well, that's what I like. It's
Yeah.
a good looking bike, I think. It's not bad.
I'm very happy with it. I mean, I've been playing around with it, rode it around at the compound a little bit. The battery really sucks.
And where is the battery, John?
Well, it's underneath the swing arm pivot.
Yeah, it is.
There's a trap door there.
It is under the genitals of the motorcycle.
So literally everything on that motorcycle sucks to work on.
It sucks to work on.
That's why I don't think I will be
It
rebuilding.
is
the
one of
car.
my least favorite motorcycles
Oh yeah,
of all to work on.
I bought one for like $600 at 8 o'clock at night in
Yeah.
New Orleans, and then realized I had to rebuild both carburetors, which aren't the same carburetor.
Nope. And every single part of those carburetors is different. So
And
you can't
they're
interchange
connected
anything.
by 4 cables
Yep.
to each other and to the throttle.
Yep. And the battery goes into a part of the motorcycle where there isn't enough battery cable
Yep.
to fit it.
You are correct. Custom cables have been fabricated
Oh yeah.
for this bike.
There is no way that you can take the positive cable off the battery without arcing it to the frame.
You have to take it off of the solenoid.
Yes.
It's literally
Attach it to the battery, run it through the bike, and then once you have the battery in, you can reattach
You
it to
can
the
pull
solenoid.
it back up. Well, I learned that.
Here's part of the problem
yeah.
with this whole thing is nobody makes the proper battery
No,
for that bike.
not
the
anymore.
original battery had the terminals coming from the side.
From the side. Yeah,
So
side
not from the
posts.
top,
Yeah.
not from the front.
Side
From the
posts.
side. If you had the proper battery, you could actually do it. but that battery doesn't exist.
It's literally like Suzuki looked at a Honda Shadow and went, "What if we made one that did suck?"
Yeah.
Damn, John, you can't even get a new bike, and Tom's
Oh
just like,
no! I literally have owned this bike, so I know all of the pain of having
doing the battery in that bike is one of those rites of passage.
Oh yeah.
The first time you do a battery in an 800 Intruder, you're just like, what the fuck, man?
And it's a YTX 16.
Yep.
So it's not a small battery at all.
Super heavy.
And I had to try to. Then I was trying to swing it out this way or this way, and then I found out you have to slide it in this way just perfectly, and it will go in. Because I'm like, there's no way in hell this battery's going.
Fits, man.
It's literally like a game of
I gotta lift
operation.
the bike up to get this. No, but if you do it just right, you can get it in.
And when there's a person we all know that has one of these. It's Hatfield's. So Rich Hatfield's from Hatfield's Good Grub has one of these bikes, and he brought it into us, and he's like, "Hey Phil, I haven't ridden my bike in 5 years. I've been busy. Can you resurrect it for me?" And I was like, "Nope, Rich. It's an Intruder 18. It's an Intruder 800. The battery's dead. The carbs are dirty. It's going to take me about 9 hours, right?" And he goes, "I'll pay for it." I was like, "No, that was my fuck you, go away price."
Yep.
And he goes, "I'll pay for it." I'm like, "You're not supposed to say yes. You're supposed to say no, that's bad. I'll do it myself," and then get disinterested and sell the bike. You're not supposed to tell me to do it. So because he's a friend, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I had to go in the back of the shop, and I had to cut down 2 paint sticks, 2 paint stirrers, the special width and the special length to make a lever system, because I insisted that he have battery tender leads on the bike.
Oh, no.
You could do that.
So the battery tender leads go right where the battery needs to be an interference fit with, so the positive battery tender lead is going to hit the frame almost instantly.
Well, you just got to forget about hooking them to the battery.
I had to hook it to the solenoid.
Hook it to the solenoid,
Right.
and then anywhere else on the frame.
Yep.
Or
That's what I did.
I made a stubby negative cable that came out to where I could get to it, and hook the original cable to that.
Oh, it's
I made
the
a little. Yeah.
It's the connector to a
what is
connector
it,
to a connector.
It's the
It just had to be that way.
I think it's the Intruder 1600 that has it on the front of the motor, and they do have a little stubby thing that hangs out the front.
Yeah, it's so this particular motorcycle, and when you look at the V-twin on this, the cylinders are so close together.
Yep.
You're like, how does a carburetor fit in there? Well, good news, it doesn't. If you look at the other side of the motorcycle, you'll see where they've put God's worst airbox, hiding God's 2 worst carburetors. And as Tom said, they are co-joined with multiple cables.
Yep.
That are never adjusted correctly.
But now you're enjoying this bike?
If you never have to rebuild those carburetors, consider yourself lucky.
Yep.
Well, when I received the bike, there was no fuel in the tank at all.
Nice.
And
All right.
the fuel line had been removed from the tap even. When I put it to reserve, I received 2 droplets of not really too bad gas.
Amazing.
And I'm like, huh.
Oh.
Because normally a bike like this, I wouldn't have even tried to start it. I would have just cleaned the carbs.
Start it with the carb.
But I looked at the carbs and I said, oh, fuck.
Nope.
I'm going to hope that this thing actually works.
Could you get does it have bowls on the bottom? Could you get the bowls off?
Well, that's a weird thing, man. If you could see these carbs, they're bowls, but they're like on their side.
One
It's
is-
like they're
One is a downdraft
One is a
carburetor.
side
The one
draft.
at the top is a downdraft carburetor that runs directly down into a 90-degree bend into the intake, and the other one is a side draft.
hides under the tank.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other one's under the seat.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's just they
it's
make
a real conflarption.
because Honda at least realized that they could do a single even the single carb if not the dual carbs.
fine.
They figured you just put them right in the middle of the V and you're good. And Suzuki said, let's not do that.
No, we shouldn't do that.
No.
They're both facing the back. They're both on the back of the cylinder
Yep.
head, so they're a foot apart.
Yeah, they're a foot apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they're not in the same area code.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't really quite understand how the fuel gets up to the one that's up in the hump of the tank. So, okay, but it does. I don't see a fuel pump anywhere.
It's been a while since I've done one of those, but there is I think there's a vacuum.
I think it's a
pump
vacuum
that
operated
runs
fuel
up
pump.
to the top.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's
Because
a
they-
vacuum.
they
Again,
gas-
looking at it with the seat and the tank and everything, I didn't see one.
Oh no! Wait, there is a vacuum fuel pump below the back carburetor, and if I remember correctly, the fuel line goes from the pump to the bottom
Just like one of
carburetor,
those little Mikuni carb.
and then
Mikuni
through
pumpers.
a bypass on that carburetor up to the top carburetor, because the fuel line is like 27 feet long.
It did take a while for it to fire up. But the good news is, once it fired up, it idled, it runs, it fluffed the throttle.
Never let it sit with gas in it.
No, not really. In fact, I kind of just want to run the gas out and drain it and just leave it. Like, keep it like, hey, for research purposes, I have an original running that's never been taken
It's
apart.
never been taken apart.
Yep.
So on tonight's What the Fuck portion of the podcast.
But the bike ran good, and it had good power and stuff. But
No,
like we were talking,
when they
it's
run, they're fun.
probably geared low. I mean, that's why it has good, like, because I was out on the property and I blipped the throttle. And it just ripped the back tire loose pretty quick on it. And I blasted it up and down the road, but I noticed like I was in fifth gear at 55, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's got pep. It's geared low.
Geared real low.
Yeah.
And at 70 miles an hour, that thing is singing.
I believe.
Yeah. And it's a 5-speed, not a 6-speed.
5,
Yeah.
which I actually like,
it's
but I
fine.
don't like the gearing.
No, I don't like the gearing in that bike either. And it's a good bike to wheelie. It'll wheelie like a son of a bitch.
I can see that.
But it will not, like, when you get to 75 miles an hour on that bike on the freeway, the Volusia 800 had a much better gear package. Like, the final gearing was much better for still being a 5-speed than that particular bike.
I'll probably just try to up gear it, you know, at some point.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll probably try to sell it. Yeah. Get it running, get it as nice as it
Shaft
can
drive's
be.
not going to lend itself to it.
No.
No, but you can put the shaft, you can put the final drive out of the 1500 into it. So if you did want to up gear
That's a real thing?
the final drive,
I don't, but
Yeah.
that is a real thing.
that's the fix.
Huh, interesting.
So that's the fix among people that have those 800s is you can take the final drive out of a 1500 and put it into your 800, and it's basically up gearing the entire operation.
Interesting.
Massive overdrive. Yep. But that's what people
I will not be doing that.
I do not recommend, right? Don't own the bike long enough to do that.
Nope.
So tonight's What the Fuck column is no shit, this is real, I couldn't believe it. The Lampago. The Lampago or La Ampago or La Ampago.
Lamp Ego.
Lampago, right? This does look exactly like one of the vehicles from the Grinch What Stole Christmas.
You need to buy 27 of these so someday when you're 90 years old, you can be like, I have 27 Lampagos.
Lampagos.
Suddenly-
or the La Ampago.
Suddenly, I want to do a Christmas parade where we all dress as the Grinch and drive these. just like Shriners.
Come on, man.
It has
yeah.
to be a red one, though.
They come in a variety of fruit flavors.
colors. Yeah.
Look at all the colors they come in, my friends. This is the most ridiculous goddamn thing. But what I think is funny is that not here in America yet, but our friends in Europe and our friends in Asia have gotten so fucking sick of electric scooters and electric vehicles and alternative transportation. They've gotten so fucking sick of it that they've taken to designing this crap.
Right.
To just be like, well, if you're going to take away all the sex appeal of my motor vehicle anyway, might as well just go for the win. Look at this fucking thing.
Yeah. That's interesting.
What a travesty this
It has
is.
a nose and a mouth.
Yes. This is from Turkey. And it turns out the word lampago means lightning.
There ain't nothing lightning about
There is
that.
not anything lightning about this thing. This is, oh man. This should have been from the Turkish word for clown shoe.
Dude,
Right?
okay, this is going to sound weird, but if you took a mini golf course
Right.
and made it full scale, this would be the thing that you drive around
Yes.
it.
If we had 18 holes of Jackie's Wacky Golf,
Yes, but like full
this
scale.
would be the golf cart.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a string of words.
Okay, go right ahead.
This is a Cuban lemon cab with the top taken off.
Yes, it is. It is a Cuban lemon cab. That is absolutely right.
It still
And-
could be a golf cart for a wacky golf.
It is
That's
a
true.
wacky golf cart.
That is true.
And it's also, if we ever had a year-long celebrating the Grinch Who Stole Christmas,
Yes.
or a Tim Burton Nightmare Before Elm Street, you know, a Nightmare Before
You know
Elm
what?
Street.
This is
Nightmare
just kind of a
Before-
I'd
nightmare.
go watch
anyway.
that. I'd
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
watch
I
that.
can watch that.
Well, I was about to say, like, if you like,
What's
listen,
this? What's this?
if we have a listener that
Slash,
makes
slash,
money
slash.
during the holidays being the Grinch,
Yes.
This will be a wise investment for you.
Yes.
I mean, not even kidding. Like,
Yes.
you show up on this thing, you're instantly the guy you get hired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get that little fucking dog with the stick strapped to its head
Yes.
fucking hanging out.
So we go on a
Absolutely.
national Lampago vacation.
We should go on National Lampago's Christmas vacation. Fuck yeah, we should.
We all
London,
need one
Rusty.
for Mid-Ohio next year.
We all need.
Well, it's not a side by side.
Do you know why we know this would never survive at Mid-Ohio? Because it is ultimately too tip overable.
Well, no, you'd have to jack it up on like 37-inch wheels. with
Okay.
fucking-
Oh yeah,
all right.
And
Put it
then
on
put
mutters.
Put the freaking swing arms on
Yeah.
it. Have Monster Energy drink
Put
like
it
sponsor
on
it.
fucking mutters.
It looks like it could be a nice bumper
Reverse
car.
dark side it and put motorcycle tires.
Yes.
Motorcycle time.
No, do they have a place to put my flag poles so I can
Yes,
fly?
they do. Look at that thing. The whole back seat. I love that the back seat is higher than the front seat.
Yeah.
I love the whole back end. Looks like just it came from Whoville, right? Like this is driven by the Whoville mayor.
Dude, I think the Whoville cars had that headlight.
I think they did
that's
too.
Yeah.
Literally the headlight
Yeah.
from the Whoville car.
So as much as I'm like, this is a shit show train wreck, but it is a good goddamn Whoville replica vehicle.
Dude, if you pulled up in if you pulled up in a car show in one of your Japanese hearses,
Yeah.
and then wheeled one of these fuckers out of the back,
yeah.
you'd be a hero.
Yeah, what you can say is no matter what dumbass vehicle, like this is from Fraggle Rock. Like there are only certain universes where this can exist. But yeah. Is that the Whoville car?
That's what came up on first thing on the search.
Right.
Yeah,
So
pretty
it's
much
not
it.
fucking far off the Whoville car, right? I agree. All right. So that would and that is in motorcycle news, which tells you how sad motorcycle news is right now. Yeah. That there is not a good story in the world of motorcycles when Ride Apart's best fucking story is this piece of shit.
Or the frame that Bajaj built for Triumph.
I was gonna yes, exactly. No, because those CNC machines were totally not Indian. No. The Indian machines are not so tidy.
Just
They
because
spin
it's in
to
a
the
press
left.
release doesn't mean it's the actual thing
That's
that comes
also
off
true.
of.
We know that for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look at this thing, it is just stupid.
I wonder if it's gonna handle like the Robin. Like when
Right.
remember Jeremy Clarkson
Right.
took
as
a
soon
left.
as Jeremy Clarkson gets it, they're just going to roll it. Now, the good news is it's probably just vaporware and it'll never probably darken anybody's driveway, right? Because everything I've seen so far looks a whole lot like Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Nothing I've seen yet is a picture of a person enjoying one, right?
Well, that's the thing. All these companies think that it's a good idea, even if it is a real thing,
Right.
to go into a soundstage and use that white soundstage.
Right.
And you're like, dude, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, that's true because when I look at a picture of this right here,
Yep.
my bullshit detector goes into overdrive.
Right.
Because when I look at the shadowing and I look at everything else, I'm like, nope, that's Photoshop.
And that's the thing is like
Right.
if it is a fake
Right.
thing, stick it in a driveway with some like depth of field behind
Right.
it and make it look real. Like
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
You know-
Because I just immediately look at this and go, well, it's clearly a Photoshop job. Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's so cute. Let's get one.
we say three-wheelers and vaporware, and the first thing that comes to mind is Arcimoto.
Yes. Yep.
And they finally did sort of build. What? Yeah, no, they did. They had the whole factory in
way.
Eugene, and they built a couple, and then I think they went out of business.
Oh. Is
But I
that
think they're
the-
back in business again. I don't know.
Is that the thing that Hoffert put money down?
No.
on? That was the Elio, right?
Elio,
Elio was supposed to be in Louisiana.
The Elio
in the
Gonzalez.
in the old Chevy Astrovan plant.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be in Louisiana.
The
This is
Arcimoto, this is the Arcimoto. And I've seen a bunch of these in rental applications in strange places. I'll pull it
actually
up for
looks
the
all right.
I'll pull it
I
up for
don't
the
hate that.
podcast listeners at home.
I'm gonna
it was-
outdo Pete. I'm gonna get one of those next year from Mid-Ohio and out Pete.
Out Pete.
Oh, there's the Duck Stadium. So
Yeah.
no, I actually, to be perfectly honest, when I thought I was moving to Oregon, I applied
Right.
for a job there. They keep emailing me every 6 months
Oh, there is no doubt in my mind that they are looking for anybody who's willing to. One of our friends
with a pulse and a wrench.
Chuck Schramm. Chuck Schramm has worked for Vectrix. He's worked for Kimco. He's worked for Zero. He's worked for Go. Like anybody that's an electric vehicle at all whatsoever, Chuck Schramm has worked for all of them. And he's a super sweet guy. Like we love him. He's super cool. But just the same, like this guy is the Chuck Schramm of the week. You're like, okay, well, who are you repping this week? Monday Motorcycles. All right, great.
Yeah.
And this is exactly like, I'm surprised it doesn't have a picture of Chuck Schramm riding this particular bike.
Could you put snow tires on that? Ride it in the winter?
It's Oregon. They probably have to, especially if you want to get up to Bend.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. To
I have
like
a little bit of a history riding 3-wheeled vehicles that are 2 in the front and 1 in the back.
Yeah.
In snow.
Yeah. Oh.
And that is that the front wheels do not make a path for the back wheel.
Back wheel,
So
right.
all 3 wheels are hitting virgin snow.
And you get stuck.
And it can be a little stressful.
You'd have
is
to
the
put,
nicest way to put
You know
it.
what you could do?
Yeah.
Is just put a shock absorbed front ski in the middle that kind of pushes the snow down and just scoot along.
Fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough. I believe on the Archimoto that the Archimoto is front wheel drive.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. So the Archimoto, I believe, is front wheel drive. But I have seen these out. Right?
Oh, that definitely is. Did you see the drive shaft going to it in the middle there? Yeah, you're right.
The Archimoto is front wheel drive. A bike showed up at the shop today.
Oh. Look at the seatbelts. It's crisscross applesauce off.
It is, yeah.
That'd be awesome for ladies' boobs.
It would be.
It would just separate them all.
It lifts, it separates. Yep. It lifts, it separates. It lifts, it separates. So today, a guy showed up at my shop with one of these, and
An Archimoto?
hold on, wait
Oh.
for it. Wait for it. We're working on something here. I'm trying to get these.
I got excited. I was very excited.
It's okay.
I was
He thought he was going to see an Archimoto.
I
a
know,
leopard
right?
print one.
All right.
That leopard print one's got my cockles giggling.
All right. So a guy showed up at our shop on one of these.
That's a $70,000 thing or something.
This is a a Vanderhall.
Those are pretty
I
cool.
saw one on the way to work.
You did, because there is a Vanderhall dealer in Cleveland now that is the old AT&T building on Chatham that I was trying to buy. And there's a guy in there right now doing various different automotive applications of buying and selling out of this place. And he is the dealer for Vanderhall. And he showed up on one of them. And this is a 3-wheeler with a small car 4-cylinder engine in the front. And I believe they still might be all automatic transmissions. But these are adorable little 3-wheelers.
So is that 3-wheel steering?
It is not. It is not. And in fact, the back wheel doesn't do much. The back wheel is literally just following you. It's just hanging out behind you.
I heard they're built pretty well though.
I have driven one of these twice. I drove it at the Vegas AIM Expo, and I drove it at the Columbus AIM Expo. And it is an interesting, fun little car. It is a fun little diversion thing. It might be the golf shoes version of a Can-Am Spider and a slingshot.
I think you look a bit less douchey than I get. Like, you know what I mean? There's no angles to this thing. It looks like
It's basically a copy of the Morgan 3.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is a Morgan. Yeah, it is a modern iteration of the Morgan. And the funny thing about this is details, like finding stuff like, finding things like MSRPs and stuff like that. It's a little tough. They're not putting that shit out on their.
because it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah, that could be it.
No, I remember. I think
they're
it's- I
between
think it's up-
$25,000 and $50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I think they were like 30.
Yeah.
I think I saw them start at 35.
Yeah, so they're between $25,000 and $50,000, and there's like a Venice GTS. They've got at Lotus of Naples for $105,000 for a car that's missing 25% of the car. Right.
Right.
So I mean, that's tough. It's not the kind of thing I'd be all fired up about. But one showed up at the shop today. Renee had never seen one in person. And I was like, oh, cool, Vanderhall. And I was like, oh, did you buy that or are you the dealer? And he's like, oh. I said, you did. No, I said, you didn't buy that. You're the dealer, right? And he was like, yeah, why'd you say it that way? And I'm like, well, I've never seen anybody that actually bought one.
I've
so
never
if
met
I
an
see
owner.
one driving around, I know it must be a new dealer in Cleveland. And he was like, yeah, because
I've seen a number of Morgan 3s that have been owned by humans.
Yes, I have.
And they look really, really cool.
And they do look kind of cool.
And they're about
yeah.
half the price of this thing, apparently.
Yes.
And they're still expensive.
They're still expensive. But this was a funny thing when the guy showed up. And I was like, I didn't want to take the piss out of him because he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, he was like, well, I'm the dealer for him. And I was like, okay. Well, he was in my shop looking for like a particular oil seal and a particular solenoid and a particular, parts.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, yeah. He goes, well, can I look through your box of seals? I was
Already?
like, this ain't a zoo, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't have a box of seals. Like, we don't keep a box of seals. And he's like, well, do you have a box of solenoids? Yes, but I'm not going to let you go where they are. And I was like, I have a box of seals too. If you're going to come at me and just want to browse through a box of seals, this ain't 1953.
It's,
This ain't the self-serve Forest City Auto Parts.
Pro tip, if you're looking for a particular seal and you know what seal you're looking for, just read the numbers and go find the bearing place down the street.
Yes, absolutely.
They're going to have it or they can order it.
But this guy was like, let me look through your box of seals. And I was like, you need to tell me 3 numbers.
Yep.
You tell me 3 numbers, and I'll go back and tell you if I have that seal. And if you tell me what kind of solenoid you need, I'll go back and grab a solenoid for you. I have a hot tip for you. The same starter solenoid that's used in every goddamn motorcycle that I've met recently comes all the way back from a 1975 Honda Goldwing. Right? It has a little 30 amp fuse hook to it.
Yep.
It's got a hot terminal
and
a cold terminal and a little baby relay and a really big ass fucking solenoid. And it's the same thing. And I'm convinced that I could put that in 90% of the vehicles I've ever owned and it would work.
And the Royal Enfield Bullet uses the old Ford one.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
therefore, you can either have one or the other.
One or the other. And I know that what he needed for this starter relay, I know that if I would have given him the one that we put in every Kimco and every Vespa and everything we work on, it's the same thing. I think everybody has agreed to use it.
K&S, K&L, $40.
I think it would have solved his problems. And he was like, I just want to look through your box of starter solenoids.
I guess you're moving on your way, buddy.
And I was like, I don't have one of those.
Yeah.
I do not have a box that says, box of starter solenoids, people can look through.
I have some requirements. Let me ask you quickly. Is your name Tom? No. Is your name Phil? No. All right, then you can't go back.
You can't go back there.
All right, all right. Phil, Tom, Renee, or Merritt.
Or Merritt.
Yeah.
It's a sign on the door. It says the 4 names only.
Yeah, we're this week I started getting a little upset with people sneaking under our roll-up door.
I used to fucking fight those people when I was there.
Well,
I
your sign
hated
is
that.
still there.
Okay.
Your stop, this means you sign is still there,
Yeah.
but it's still just as effective.
Yeah, right?
So I've been thinking about...
Ooh, can I get an automated paintball gun?
I was thinking concertina wire.
No. Just paintball
Even
gun.
I
paintball.
don't do that.
What's that?
So even
I
don't
know
do
you
that.
don't do that. You're
Dude,
courteous.
everybody... Oh, I got it. I got it. Everybody grabs it and pulls it up to put their head over. Just get the fucking cow fencing. I can get it from Harvard or
Just
Farm and Fleet.
run a couple of volts through it.
Little couple volts when they grab it.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
And if we work there, we know not to grab it.
Right?
We would know to grab it by the end and move
Super
it back.
glue some
Yeah.
razor blades to it.
I like Steve's idea of lightly electrically.
Yeah, you're not,
Right.
it's just like, hey, and you can even put on the sign.
Right.
Do not go here, electric
Right.
fence.
Do not pass through here, electrified.
That's
Yeah.
it.
and then when they touch it and they go underneath it and they get the zap,
They can't say
be like,
shit.
come
You
on,
warned
dude. It
them.
literally
Nope.
said,
Yeah.
don't go through here.
I'm buying
electric
a Portal
fence.
Sentry turn. It's going right at the front. It's going to be the automated Sentry turn from Portal. It's going to sit there and it's going to look at you. And if you cross that
Dude,
line,
even if it didn't shoot anything, if there was some kind of a barrel moving around and looking at me, I think I'd change my mind about going in that direction.
Paintballs do come in CS.
oh yeah,
So we can buy CS paintballs, and all it will do is just send a message. They'll get a little welt and they'll cry. And you know what? Good. You should have a welt and you should cry because it says employees only past this point. Your sign is a stop sign that says stop. Do not enter. This means you.
Right.
And yet still motherfuckers are low crawling under that shit to get in my shop.
I have seen the UPS guy and FedEx guy dancing out there a couple times. So this is a little bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
Let's put them on the no-kill list.
Yeah, put them on the no-kill list. We'll give them a chip to wear.
But you know what? Also, I bet you the UPS guy and stuff would be like, "Oh, that's electric. I won't go there."
I can tell you what, I know our UPS guy pretty well at this point. After 8 years, he'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah, he was actually.
He would
cool.
get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
The first time he touched it and went, yeah, he'd be like, what the fuck? And be like, there's the sign. It says electric fence. Do not touch, right? Yeah, do not come in here. This fence is electrified. And he'd be like, wow, you're taking this fucking door lock thing pretty seriously.
You know what? I got that Cricut at home and I got some new vinyl. I'm gonna make you a yellow and black, like caught with the things and everything that says all that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna see how much this, like a little piece of this is, because I have to go to trailer whatever supply. That you got to do that. That's fucking great, man.
Well, the funny thing was, my first customer of the day today. Well, I rescind that statement. My first person of the day today was a guy that showed up. He did not have an appointment. He was a half an hour before we opened. And he said, well, I just want to look around. And I said, well, that's cool. And we just want to have an environment we can work in. So what time would you like your appointment to be?
Yeah.
I will give you an appointment at 11:30. My first appointment's at 11. I have a slot open at 11:30. I will give you my 11:30 appointment. Well, I'm going to come and look around right now. Well, no, we're by appointment only.
Yeah.
Well, can't I just go in and walk around? Nope. That's kind of how it works. He was super pissed off.
You're going to lose my money.
He was super pissed off. And I said, well, no. I said, you got to make an appointment. He goes, I'm not even from here.
Okay.
And I was like, what was it? What was that supposed to convince me of?
Right.
He's like, I didn't know. I was like, well, of course you didn't know. I don't care if you didn't know. It's on my website. It's literally on the front door that you're looking at.
3 different places.
In big print that Steve made.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we don't open till 11.
Right.
So even on your best day, you're half an hour early.
Right.
For Walmart, you're half an hour early. And well, I just can't even come and look around real quick. Nope. Well, but you're here. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not here to watch you. I'm moving bikes out.
To your point, when we got to Sparks Summit,
Yeah.
we had work to do.
Yeah.
It was their 25th anniversary. So the store opens at 10. We were there at 8:30, and there
Yeah.
were already old men lined up
Oh,
at
yeah.
8:30.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we had called ahead, and so our badges worked.
Yep.
So when we went to the door, they didn't see us use our badges, but they saw us
The door
go in,
opened.
and then they were banging on the door, like losing their mind. And then the security guard had to come out and be like, he's like, they got in. You can't tell me I can't come in if they got in.
They work here.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah.
They work here, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I got to wait till 10 o'clock when they open.
Yeah. To get their T-shirt.
Ah!
That's what they were doing. Those,
Were they waiting for their free T-shirt?
no, because here's what happens. No. They were going to buy it because, like, you know how the Harley guys wear
They collect T-shirts from like
all
exotic,
the different
right.
automobiles. So they all had to go get their Sparks Nevada.
So they're
Summit.
literally buying Sparks Nevada Summit T-shirts now.
Yeah, because like it's like the Harley guys. You know
They're
how they
collecting
have the Daytona?
T-shirts. Yeah.
Because then your buddy's like, oh, you were at the Nevada.
Oh, yeah. I
you're
went to the
super hot rod guy.
I went to Pearl Harbor,
Right.
right? And so I was like, I go to motorcycle shops anywhere I go.
Sure.
So I was on Oahu, and I was like, I want to see what the motorcycle shops look like here in Oahu. And so from the moment I got in the airport, I kept seeing signs for Pearl Harbor Harley Davidson. And I was like, that's a little tacky.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. But maybe because Pearl Harbor is a military base, maybe they have a Harley Davidson dealership on the base. I've seen that. Okay, maybe. So I go to the actual Oahu Honolulu Harley Davidson dealership, which is a pretty nice complex. And I'm in there chatting with the people that work there. And I'm like, so what's the deal with the Pearl Harbor? Because we're going to Pearl Harbor tomorrow. Do they have a Harley? He goes, no.
Oh, it's just a T-shirt?
They have a T-shirt boutique. So that at the Pearl Harbor Memorial gift shop,
Yeah.
there's licensed Harley Davidson apparel that says Pearl Harbor Harley Davidson with a WLA, World War II Navy bike or Army bike on it, depending on which you get, blue or green.
Yeah.
It says Pearl Harbor. I said, so there is no Harley Davidson dealership on Pearl. No. So this is just a play on Pearl Harbor cross-promoting itself with Harley Davidson. Yes, it is. And I'm like, this is a war memorial where thousands of people died.
Yeah.
We don't think that's tasteless? And the guy was like, and I was like, okay, so when I open 911 Twin Towers Harley Davidson
Right.
in Manhattan,
What's the difference?
y'all going to be cool with that?
Yeah.
So when I have, 2 inflatable World Trade Centers out in front of my place, and I'm advertising how we're taking a box cutter to savings, right? You're going to be cool with that.
And every night before you shut them off, you have a little fake plane coming.
we fly a plane into them on the hour, every hour for America.
Oh, dude, that's terrible.
But that's okay.
No.
But you're going to have Pearl Harbor Harley Davidson. If I go, is there Hiroshima Harley Davidson?
Right.
Is there Kawasaki of Nagasaki?
Hey, speaking of those cities,
Yeah.
Oppenheimer's not going over too well over there.
No.
apparently.
Really?
Oh, no. the Barbenheimer thing, because what is it? Warner?
Yeah.
Is it Warner that distributed? Who? I don't remember. I think it was Warner that distributes it.
Doesn't matter.
They
Yeah,
put that on their
Right.
website because it's not Twitter anymore. It's
Right,
whatever
right.
the hell that fucktard wants to name it this week.
X?
X.
X.
Well, what you realize is X in multiple languages comes off as she.
She.
So it's
Exactly.
shit.
Right.
It's shitter.
It's the shitter.
But that's the second company he's named X. He tried X 20 years.
Well, yeah, he
15
doesn't even
years
own the
ago.
copyright to the damn thing.
Anyways.
But the best part is Warner Brothers, I guess, America
Yeah.
did the whole, the Barbenheimer thing.
Right.
So hilarious. And Warner Brothers Japan went, are you fucking stupid?
Right. Exactly. Right. This is
What are you doing?
This is
I heard-
the instant execution
Oh, yeah.
of two cities of our people.
This might be a rumor, but I heard they changed the ending for the Japanese release. Ow, just hit my head.
What the fuck, Steve?
What, do they not bomb the cities this time?
Right. The bomb.
They turned around and went home.
And we're all friends.
Well, no. They did that for the Chinese one. Wait a minute. No, I'm thinking of Fight Club, where he actually got sold out. And
My
he sold
God,
that.
man. This is literally the Oppenheimer Tokyo edit.
You know what the best thing I've heard though is? Oppenheimer is a prequel to Godzilla.
But it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And now we do Godzilla again.
That is a prequel to Godzilla.
It is Godzilla.
Gojira.
They're playing
Gojira.
tomorrow night.
Are
in
they really?
Cleveland. Yeah. Gojira's playing.
Gojira.
Yeah, Gojira. They're playing in town tomorrow night. All right, guys. Anybody else got anything else?
No.
Fuck it. That was a podcast.
Anything more offensive?
No, I think we pegged the needle
I
in
mean,
for a while.
I was going to mention the French Quarter Harley Davidson, which is just a t-shirt
It's a
shop.
t-shirt shop. Same with Las Vegas,
the airport.
downtown Las Vegas, and the airport are
But
both just t-shirt shops.
you brought up a really good point
Yeah.
because now I want to open up a 911 Harley Davidson boot. It has to be a kiosk.
But I want to know, so like on Monday of next week when all these guys get back from Hot August nights
Yeah.
with all their t-shirts, do they go to like Dunkin' Donuts and wear their new shirts?
Yes, they do.
And sit across the street
Yes,
and the
they do.
guys are all like, oh,
Yeah.
you went to Hot August night.
You went to Hot August Nights in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Because the deal with the Harley shirts is always like having one that's super far away.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It was like when we were kids, they had the Hard Rock London, and then
Yeah.
they had like the Hard Rock, and they were selling goofy Hard Rock shirts. That
The
didn't
Planet
exist.
Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood, same, right?
yeah.
That's exactly it. All right, fuck that. John, would you like to play us out here, buddy? Ride fast and take chances.
Bum 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 bum.